Chapter 106. Xiao Chong, kill it. Hearing Long Ao's words, Long Chong let out a dragon's roar. Then, Long Chong's body rushed out. Before he arrived, his terrifying aura had already suppressed the fire dragon. The fire dragon seemed to be suppressed and took a few steps back. If Long Ming hadn't stopped it, the fire dragon would have escaped at this moment. The suppression of the dragon's level made the fire dragon not dare to resist at all. Seeing that his partner wanted to escape, Long Ming's expression changed. Was the other party's dragon level higher than the fire dragon? Unable to retreat, the fire dragon was forced to fight. In the blink of an eye, the fire dragon and Long Chong collided fiercely. As for Long Ao, he laughed coldly and rushed out. Without the fire dragon's help, Long Ming seemed to have lost his arms and was restrained. It was because of this that Long Ao could make a comeback without the fire dragon's suppression. The two dragons fought. Long Ao and Long Ming fought. The division of labor was clear. Even without the fire dragon's help, Long Ming was full of confidence. The fusion realm was above the evolution realm. However, in the battle just now, Long Ao's strength had already deeply shocked Long Ming. The first 3 styles of the blood-sucking 8 styles. The first style was the Yellow Spring's 9 consecutive strikes. The second style was the heart-biting ice, and the third style was the blazing sea of flames. Not only that, Long Ao also used the soul-suppressing seal at the same time and invaded Long Ming's body silently. But what shocked Long Ao was that the soul-suppressing seal couldn't invade Long Ming's body at all. What was going on? Long Ao had always been confident in his soul-suppressing seal. It could be said that it was perfect, but now, it couldn't invade Long Ming's body at all. With no other choice, Long Ao could only rely on the 8 styles of Blood Drinker. Under the combination of the 3 styles, each move was stronger than the last. As the battle continued to escalate, Long Ming gradually couldn't hold on anymore. The more he fought, the more shocked he became. Especially when the 2 dragons were fighting, the fire dragon was gradually unable to hold on. No. He watched as Long Ao's partner directly suppressed his own fire dragon and began to devour it. Even the flesh and blood of the fire dragon were being eaten mouthful by mouthful. Not to mention Long Ming. Even Long Ao was extremely shocked. This was because he had never thought that the little fellow would be so domineering and bloody. She even ate the meat of the fire dragon bite by bite. The entire fire dragon was eaten clean. Long Chong seemed to want more and shot towards Long Ming without any hesitation. Just like that, Long Ming, who had the upper hand, was completely suppressed by Long Ao. Especially with Long Chong's help, it was like adding wings to a tiger. At this moment, Long Ming already knew very well that with his current strength, it was impossible for him to defeat the other party. If he hadn't experienced it personally, he wouldn't have believed it even if he was beaten to death. With his fusion realm strength, he couldn't even defeat a mere evolution realm opponent. Unable to defeat the other party, Long Ming prepared to turn and leave. But would Long Ao agree? Having seen Long Chong's strength, Long Ao was full of confidence that with his and Long Chong's combined strength, they would definitely be able to make the other party stay. Eliminate the source of trouble so that it wouldn't grow again. It was precisely because of this that Long Ao couldn't let Long Ming go. He and Long Chong pressed on, attacking the other party ruthlessly from both sides. Long Ao used the soul-suppressing seal that he couldn't invade earlier. As expected, Long Ming's mind was already in a mess at this moment. The soul-suppressing seal invaded the other party's body silently and started to corrode Long Ming's soul. Long Ming, who was already in a mess, actually felt a strange power starting to corrode his soul. His expression was shocked, and he didn't dare to be careless. He circulated all the strength in his body and started to resist the power that corroded his soul. Long Ao didn't give up such a rare opportunity. The blood-sucking blade in his hand had already quickly slashed out 3 moves. It was the first 3 moves of the blood-sucking 8 moves. The first 3 moves of the blood-sucking 8 moves. The first move was the Yellow Spring 9 consecutive strikes. The second move was the heart-devouring ice. And the third move was the sea of flames. The 3 moves overlapped and slashed towards Long Ming ruthlessly. If it was under normal circumstances, Long Ming would definitely be able to dodge it. But now, Long Ming, who was focused on resisting the corroding soul power in his body, couldn't resist Longao's full attack at all. The blood-sucking blade slashed down ruthlessly from head to toe, directly splitting Long Ming in half. The blood-sucking blade was very bloody and directly started to devour Long Ming's blood. In just a minute, Long Ming's blood was completely absorbed, and before Longao could deal with Long Ming's soul, Longao thought that Long Ming's soul would definitely be absorbed by the blood-sucking blade, but he realized that it wasn't. In surprise, Longao immediately put Long Ming's soul and the fire dragon soul into the dragon seal space, preparing to refine them into soul slaves. Longao knew very well that he only had 6 evolved soul slaves by his side now. Once he met a fusion expert, he would have to take action himself. Just like now, it was very difficult for him to resist the combined forces of the fire dragon and Long Ming. If he could refine Long Ming and the fire dragon into soul slaves, even if he met a fusion expert, he would be able to easily destroy them. Looking at the corpses on the ground, Longao let out a long sigh of relief. After successfully killing Long Ming and the fire dragon, Longao's soul entered the dragon seal space. Long Fu, now that Luo Cheng, Long Ming, and the fire dragon souls are here, how long will it take for you to refine them into soul slaves for me? 3 days. If you work harder, you'll probably only need 1.5 days to complete the refinement. But Master, now that these 3 soul slaves have been successfully refined, I'm prepared to help Master refine their energy for the next soul. Master, your own strength is more important. Nodding, Longao naturally understood what Long Fu meant. What he said was right. It was better to rely on oneself than on others. One's own strength was the most important. No matter how many soul slaves there were, it wasn't their own strength. No matter what, it was enough to have Luo Cheng, Long Ming, and the fire dragon soul slave. He only needed to refine the remaining souls into energy to help himself and Long Chong break through. But one had to know that both he and the little fellow had the desolate physique, and the energy they needed was too great. Just by absorbing it under normal circumstances, who knew how long it would take to break through a level? Therefore, Long Fu borrowed the energy refined from the blood pool to better integrate it and break through. Master, I didn't expect your strength to break through so quickly. I just sensed that your soul-suppressing seal has been cultivated to completion. So, Master, you can continue to refine the next seal. Nodding, Longao was looking forward to the seal of destruction. Just the first seal, the soul-suppressing seal, was already so powerful, let alone the next seal. Just thinking about it made him look forward to it. Chapter 107. Seal of Destruction. The Seal of Destruction had a total of 18 moves. Long Fu had only taught Longao the first 4 moves. According to Long Fu, Longao could only practice the first 4 moves with his current strength. As for the remaining 14 moves, he didn't have the strength to practice them yet. The first 4 moves of the Seal of Destruction were the Soul-Suppressing Seal, Dark Burning Seal, Sky Burying Seal, and Doomsday Seal. Now that he had practiced the Soul-Suppressing Seal to its peak, the next step was to practice the second move of the Seal of Destruction, Dark Burning Seal. The anticipation for the Extermination Seal made Longao unable to wait for even a moment. He immediately began to enter a state of cultivation. Noon of the second day. The Battle of Thunder had officially ended. Of the 32 kingdoms, the Thunder Empire, and a few scattered members, there were only less than 30 people left. With a ratio of 10 to 1, one could imagine how terrifying the Battle of Thunder was. According to the ratio, Longao was ranked second, and the first place went to the Thunder Nation Guardian Hall. Longao was ranked second, shocking the Thunder Empire and 32 kingdoms. As for Longao's background, it was also dug out by the various kingdoms. Especially when they learned that Longao was from the Starcloud Kingdom, everyone was incomparably shocked. Starcloud Kingdom had a total of 10 people participating in the Battle of Lightning. Other than Longao and Hao Chao, almost all of them were annihilated. When the Starcloud Kingdom learned of this, the entire kingdom was shocked. The 2 survivors of the Thunder Battle had both left the Starcloud Kingdom. When Ouyang Fei received this news, he was both pleasantly surprised and sorrowful. He was pleasantly surprised that nothing had happened to Longao, and he had even obtained second place in the Thunder Battle. However, he was sad that all of the Star Cloud Kingdom's members had died. To the Star Cloud Kingdom, this was definitely a terrible news. Star Cloud Kingdom's relay station. Uncle Hao, I know this is Luo Cheng's fault. I hope you won't leave the Nation Guardian Hall. Crown Prince, I have already left the Nation Guardian Hall. Hao Chao's face was resolute. Although Luo Cheng was dead, he had already left the Nation Guardian Hall. If he returned now, how would others see him? How could Ouyang Fei not know what Hao Chao was thinking? Facing such an expert, even if he was the crown prince of the kingdom, he was powerless. Helplessly, he looked at Longao. Although he did not speak, the expression on his face had already explained everything. Longao helplessly shrugged and smiled. Brother Hao, the Nebula Guardian Hall is a good choice. If you don't have a place to go, then why don't you stay here? Longao's words were obviously more effective than Ouyang Fei's. After thinking about it, Hao Chao said, in that case, I'll stay in the National Guard Hall for the time being. Ouyang Fei's eyes lit up as he asked, Brother Long, what about you? Shaking his head, Longao hoped that Hao Chao would return to the National Guard Hall, but it was impossible for him to do so. Big Brother Ouyang, I'm a person who likes to be free. I entered the Nation Guardian Hall because of you and Uncle, but because, forget it, I like to be alone. After taking a deep look at Longao, Ouyang Fei sighed deeply and didn't continue to say anything. He knew very well that since Longao had already decided on something, it wouldn't be an easy thing to change it. Ouyang Fei cursed Longao in his heart. Longao's talent and potential were there, but what about the National Guard Hall? Brother Long, you've already won second place in the Thunder Empire. If nothing unexpected happens, the Thunder Empire will summon you later and invite you to join the National Guard Hall. Longao was not a fool. Of course, he could understand the meaning of Ouyang Fei's words. After thinking about it, he said, I won't join the Thunder Empire's National Guard Hall. I'll leave and return to Chihua Town later. Longao was worried about Wang Yuyin's safety. He couldn't wait to fly back to Chihua Town. However, at this time, Longao suddenly received news from Chihua Town. After Yuyin consumed the Millennium Thunder Fruit, she successfully woke up. However, she was taken away by Yuyin's master. Her whereabouts were unknown. Hearing this news, Longao, who originally wanted to rest for a few days, immediately left Thunder City and headed towards Chihua Town. Chihua Town, Long family. Longao's return caused the entire Long family to boil. Especially when they heard that Longao had won in the Thunder Battle, they were pleasantly surprised. What kind of glory was it to win second place in the Thunder Battle? However, there were joys and sorrows. Although Longao had won second place in the Thunder Battle, he had left the Star Cloud National Guard Hall. No matter what, the Long family was still in the Star Cloud Kingdom. Once they provoked the Star Cloud Kingdom, the consequences would be unimaginable. Because of this, the Long family was worried. Long family, main hall. Long Haosher, Long Yi, and Long Ao were seated. Ao, we have already received news about you and the Star Cloud National Guard Hall. However, the Star Cloud royal family has been quite good to our Long family. How could Long Ao not know what his grandfather meant? He said, Grandfather, I know what to do. The Star Cloud Kingdom will not do anything to us. Long Ao had full confidence in this point. He did not dwell on this matter and asked, Grandfather, what about Yuyin? Ao, I know you came back this time mainly for Yuyin. I can only tell you that Yuyin was taken away by her master. The other party has already said that at least 3 years, at most 10 years, Yuyin will return. At least 3 years? At most 10 years? Long Ao was completely anxious. Although he knew that Yuyin had such a master, he had never seen him before. It could be said that he was a mysterious dragon. 3 years, 10 years, he could wait. However, he was incomparably worried. Grandfather. Long Haosher waved his hand and said with a dignified face, Ao, Yuyin's master is too strong. Our entire Long family combined might not be his opponent. Ao, I know that you are worried about Yuyin. However, everything must be done with strength. If you act rashly, not only will you not be able to find Yuyin, even you will be in danger. Do you understand what your grandfather is saying? I understand. How could Longao not understand? However, he was still worried about Yu Yin's safety. However, Longao was also very clear that in this world where strength was respected, strength was everything. Without strength, not to mention oneself, even one's family could not be protected. It was precisely because of this that Longao knew that unless his strength reached a certain level, he would only be deceiving himself and others by looking for Yu Yin. My grandfather, I understand what you mean. Don't worry, I won't act rashly. I'll personally look for Yu Yin later. By the way, grandfather, I have something to discuss with you this time. What is it? Grandfather, father, this time on the way back, I have been thinking for a long time. I want the Long family to leave the Star Cloud Kingdom. Chapter 108. Leave the Nebula Royal Family? Hearing Long Ao's words, Long Haosher and Long Yi were shocked. They knew what it meant for the Long family to leave the Nebula Royal Family. Long Haosher asked seriously, Ao, is your relationship with the Nebula Royal Family broken down to this extent? Long Ao knew what his grandfather meant. He shook his head and said, Grandfather, I believe you already know about the grudge between me and the Nebula Royal Family. Long Haosher and Long Yi nodded. They already knew what had happened between Ao, and the Nebula National Guard Hall. Grandfather, father, I've been outside for a while. I've gradually understood that when you're under someone else's roof, you have to lower your head. Long Haosher and Long Yi seemed to know what Long Ao was going to say next. However, they felt that it was natural. No matter what, the Long family was nothing in the eyes of the Nebula Royal Family. I know. Our Long family is nothing compared to the Nebula Royal Family. However, if the Long family stays in the Nebula Royal Family, Long Ao didn't continue, but the meaning in his words was clear. Long Haosher and Long Yi weren't fools. Of course, they understood the meaning in Ao's words. They didn't say anything and lowered their heads to ponder. After thinking for a while, Long Yi finally said, Ao, we understand what you mean. However, you've just said that our Long family's status and strength are obvious. Once we leave the Nebula Royal Family, will the Nebula Royal Family let us go? Long Haosher continued, even if the Nebula Royal Family is willing to let us go, with our strength, I'm afraid it'll be difficult for us to establish ourselves. Long Ao had already thought about his grandfather's worries. However, it was precisely because of this that Long Ao wanted the Long family to leave the Nebula Royal Family. He didn't want himself and the Long family to be restricted. Grandfather, father, I know that when we leave the Nebula Royal Family, it'll be difficult for the Long family to move forward. However, as long as we cross this hurdle, the Long Ao will definitely rise. Trust me. Looking deeply at Long Ao, both Long Haosher and Long Yi suddenly nodded and said, Ao, since you've decided, we choose to believe you. Patriarch, the Nebula Emperor has brought the Crown Prince and the Guardian Hall's Hallmaster to pay a visit. At this moment, a servant from the outer door suddenly ran in and said while kneeling on one knee, the Emperor of the Nebula Royal Family? Crown Prince? The Hallmaster of the National Defense Hall? Hearing that these three people were here, Long Haosher, Long Yi, and Long Ao all stood up, astonishment written all over their faces. But one must know that within the Nebula Kingdom, there were only two people who had the most power. The first was the Nebula Imperial Family's Emperor, Ouyang Feng. The second was the head of the Kingdom Protector Hall, Tang Lin. As for Ouyang Fei, he would be the future emperor of the kingdom. As if he could guess the purpose of their visit, Long Ao said, Grandfather, father, I don't want to see them. Please help me see them out. Blocking Long Ao's path, Long Haosher said, Ao, no matter what, our Long family has yet to leave Starcloud Kingdom. If we were to shed all pretense of cordiality, our Long family would be at a disadvantage. Of course, Long Ao understood what his grandfather meant. He had no choice but to continue staying. A short while later, Ouyang Fei, Ouyang Feng, and Tang Lin entered the Long family's main hall with smiles on their faces. Brother Long, you've really made our Nebula Kingdom proud this time. Hearing Tang Lin's words, Long Ao and the other two's expressions changed. How could Long Ao not understand the meaning behind Tang Lin's words? He snorted inwardly. Back then, When he was forced to leave the Kingdom Protector Hall, where was the Nebula Imperial family? Where was Tang Lin? Hall Master, I'm sorry, but I'm no longer a member of the Nebula Kingdom Protector Hall. So, in this thunder battle, I'm only representing myself. Tang Lin and Ouyang Feng were not angry at Longao's words. They still had smiles on their faces as the three of them took their seats. Longao, I know that the Nebula Imperial family has let you down. However, I've already spoken to Brother Tang about this. From now on, Longao is officially the Vice Hall Master of the Kingdom Protector Hall and the next Hall Master. Hearing this, Long Haosher and Long Yi were shocked. Both of them knew what it meant to be the Hall Master of the Kingdom Protector Hall. However, Longao was not surprised at all. After all, he had participated in this thunder battle and obtained the second place. However, what if he did not obtain these achievements? Without a doubt, if he did not obtain the second place in the thunder battle, not only would the Nebula Kingdom not allow him to return to the Kingdom Protector Hall, they would even help him beat him when he was down. Because of this, Longao had already made his decision. However, before Longao could speak, Tang Lin suddenly said, Family Head Long, 3 days ago, we've already announced that from now on, the Long family will be the local tyrant of the Scarlet Flame Town. No matter when or what happens, the Nebula Kingdom will not interfere with the matters of the Scarlet Flame Town. Hearing Tang Lin's words, not to mention Long Haosher and Long Yi, even Long Ao was completely shocked. Long Haosher and the other two were not fools. Of course, they understood what the Nebula Kingdom's decision meant. In other words, from now on, the Scarlet Flame Town belonged to the Long family and not the Nebula Kingdom. Long Ao, if you're still not satisfied with what the royal family has done, then I can only give the throne to you. Your Majesty, you mustn't. Long Haosher was shocked and hurriedly came out to mediate. He was afraid that Long Ao would anger Ouyang Feng. No matter what, the Long family was still in the Nebula Kingdom's territory. Once they completely fell out with the Nebula Kingdom, the Long family would be the one to suffer in the end. As the Long family head, Long Haosher's first thought was still the Long family's interests. How could Long Ao not know what his grandfather was thinking? He sighed deeply in his heart. For the family, for his grandfather and father, it seemed that he had to compromise. Your Majesty, Hall Master, although I won't return to the Kingdom Protector Hall, I can promise that if anything happens to the Nebula Kingdom, I, Long Ao, will definitely not stand by and do nothing. This is all I can do. I hope you can understand. Hearing Ao's words, Long Haosher and Long Yi were shocked. However, Ouyang Feng and Tang Lin laughed. Ouyang Feng smiled and said, No problem, as long as you're happy. Oh right, Long Ao, I know about the grudge between you and the Flowing Cloud sect. If you're willing, the Nebula Kingdom can help you destroy the Flowing Cloud sect at any time. Thank you, but the grudge between me and the Flowing Cloud sect, I will settle it myself. Long Ao had already thought about the Flowing Cloud sect. With his current strength, it was time for him to go to the Flowing Cloud sect for revenge. All right, since that's the case, we wish you success. Long Haosher and Long Yi were surprised by Ouyang Feng and Tang Lin's attitude. They finally understood that Long Ao had grown to the point where even the Nebula Kingdom had to take him into consideration. Chapter 109. Sky Cloud Sect. The Sky Cloud Sect was no longer the same as before. The 4 elders had been killed, and only the Master Tu Lei and Yi Hao were left. According to Tu Lei, no matter what happened, he had to kill Long Ao to prevent future troubles. But what was the result? The news of Long Ao participating in the Thunder Battle and winning second place was also known to the Sky Cloud Sect, and they also knew about the announcement from the Star Cloud royal family. It was precisely because of this that Tu Lei and Yi Hao were incomparably solemn. Both of them knew that the current Long Ao was no longer someone they could deal with. Not to mention Long Ao, the Sky Cloud royal family alone was enough to force the Sky Cloud sect to compromise. Because of this, Tu Lei decided to send someone to contact Long Ao to resolve this matter peacefully. However, before he could send someone to the Red Fire Town, Long Ao had already arrived at the Sky Cloud sect alone. Looking at the white-haired, black-clothed youth, both Tu Lei and Yi Hao were shocked. Was this still the arrogant youth from not long ago? Black clothes and white hair had almost become synonymous with Longao. Because of the strong rise of Longao in the Thunder Battle, many people remembered the name Longao, a white-haired, black-clothed youth walking alone in the dark night. A white-haired, black-clothed youth with a blood oath walked in the dark night. My life is in my own hands. Sky Cloud Sect, Sky Cloud Peak. The peak was surrounded by disciples of the Sky Cloud Sect. At a glance, there was a sea of people, at least 3,000 to 5,000 people. The black-clothed, white-haired youth was no stranger to the disciples of the Sky Cloud Sect, because it was this person who had killed the 4 elders of the Sky Cloud Sect. Longao, I have to admit that you are really arrogant. You dare to come to the Sky Cloud Sect alone. Yihao snorted and said sarcastically, you don't know what's good for you. If it weren't for the Star Cloud Guardian Hall, you would have been dead. Over 1,000 flowing Cloud Sect disciples burst into laughter, mocking and laughing madly. Ignoring everyone's mockery, Longao stood under the clouds and coldly looked at the 2 people in front of him. His body gave off a formless, cold, and murderous aura. He would never forget Yuin's hatred for him in this lifetime. Longao was very clear that if it weren't for the frost bed and the 1,000-year-old thunderfruit, perhaps Yuin would have already died. So this battle was unavoidable. Too late. Yihao, let's cut the crap. Today, I came to the Sky Cloud Martial School to settle our grudge once and for all. You? Longao, you should know that you are no longer a member of the Nebula Guardian Hall. Even though Tule and Yihao knew that Longao was no longer a member of the royal family, they did not dare to kill him. They were not fools, and they knew what kind of status Longao held in the Nebula royal family. As if he could see through their thoughts, Longao snorted and said, I don't need anyone to meddle in my business. Today, I will fight with the Sky Cloud Martial School. No one will interfere. My life and death will be decided by the heavens. Ha ha ha, Longao, I really admire you. Hearing this, Yihao suddenly burst into laughter. His laughter was full of contempt and disdain. Your life is in my hands, not the heavens. Today, I will destroy the Sky Cloud Martial School. Without wasting any more time, the blood-sucking broadsword appeared in his hand. He said heroically, Tu Lei, Yihao, and all the disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School, come at me together. Together? Everyone looked at the arrogant young man, especially the white-haired man, as if they were looking at an idiot. No matter what, there were at least 3,000 to 5,000 disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School. Once they all attacked together, would this young man be able to withstand it? Arrogant, reckless. Tule sneered and said, Since you want to die, I will give you a chance. Longao, if you can withstand 100 moves from them today, I will let you go. Then, Yihao and Tule retreated far away. Tule waved his hand indifferently. Then, earth-shattering roars came from all directions. More than 5,000 disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School swarmed up. There was no doubt that among the 5,000 people, no one was Longao's opponent. But what if 5,000 people joined forces? There were more than 5 people. Even if Longao could kill all of them, Longao would be exhausted to death. Longao did not have the slightest mercy, because he already understood that if he wanted to live a better life in this dog-eat-dog world, there was only one word: kill. Kill. Holding the blood-sucking broadsword, Longao's body also rushed out. The first 3 moves of the blood-sucking 8 styles. The first move was the 9 consecutive strikes of the underworld. The second move was the heart-devouring ice, and the third move was the sea of flames. At this moment, Longao was like a demon god, directly rushing into the crowd and killing. The blood-sucking broadsword, with a bloody light, kept reaping the lives of the Sky Cloud Martial School's disciples. As for the souls, Longao did not waste them at all, and kept them all in the Dragon Seal space. Longao was ready to finish this battle himself. Longao did not plan to summon his soul slaves in this battle, because he knew very well that as long as he summoned Luocheng, Longming, and Fire Dragon soul slaves, he could completely destroy the entire Sky Cloud Martial School in a few minutes. But Longao did not do so, because in his opinion, he had to avenge Yuin himself. Master, Longao's strength has exceeded our imagination. This boy must not be left alive. or there will be endless trouble. Evolving the realm? Feeling the power released by the opponent, Yihao's face was extremely gloomy, as ugly as it could be. In Yihao's opinion, Longao's growth was too fast. If this boy continued to live, it would not be long before he could easily kill him. If that really happened, what should he do? Therefore, this boy must die, even if it meant offending the Nebula Guardian Hall. Nodding, Tu Lei's face was also dignified and said, "After killing this boy, we will go far away to the Nebula Kingdom. But with the foundation of our sect, no matter where we go, we can make a comeback." How could Yihao not know what the master meant? In any case, the relationship between the Nebula royal family and Longao was unusual. Once Longao was killed, the Nebula Guardian Hall would definitely not let it go. With the strength of the sect, could they withstand the attack of the Nebula royal family? It was precisely because of this that Tu Lei and Yihao's eyes gradually turned cold. The two of them had already planned everything, so they didn't care about the life and death of the sect disciples, so that they could consume Longao's physical strength. At that time, they would be able to reap the benefits and easily kill each other. How could Longao not know about the two's shamelessness? That was why he did not hold back at all, because he knew that the longer the delay, the worse it would be for him. Chapter 110. End the battle quickly. Longao certainly knew that the delay of time was fatal to him. It was precisely because of this that Longao held his blood-drinking frenzy blade and continuously used blood-drinking 3 styles, especially the third style, Sea of Flames. Among the first 3 styles of blood-drinking 8 styles, only the third style, Sea of Flames, was suitable for group combat. According to Tu Lei and Yihao's calculations, Longao would need at least half an hour to defeat more than 5,000 disciples. At that time, they would be able to reap the benefits and easily kill the opponent. But the result? In less than 3 minutes, Longao had already killed a bloody path. Corpses were everywhere, and blood flowed like a river. "Those who block me will die." The killing began to numb, but Longao knew very well in his heart that he had no choice but to do so. At the same time as the roars sounded out, the wild blade in his hand swung out once again. The raging sea of flames covered the sky and suppressed the earth. For some reason, the remaining disciples of the Sky Cloud sect were still like moths to a flame. They knew that this was a dead end, but they still roared in anger. One after another, there was an endless stream. "Those who block me will die, kill." With Longao's massacre, a dragon's roar suddenly resounded through the sky. Long Chong, who was ready to come out, was forcibly suppressed by Longao. He was startled. Longao was not a fool. Of course, he knew that once Long Chong appeared, it would cause a lot of trouble. This was not because of the Sky Cloud sect, but because of the Nebula royal family under the Sky Cloud sect. Longao knew very well that a dragon warrior only had a Long family above rank 3. Once the Long family knew that he was a dragon warrior, the result could be imagined. It was precisely because of this that Longao forcibly suppressed Long Chong and rushed out again. Just like this, Longao forcibly opened up a bloody path. When everyone was preparing to continue like moths to the flame, Longao suddenly turned around and coldly looked at the less than half of the Sky Cloud Martial School's disciples and said, "Are you still willing to continue working for this kind of school and elders?" Longao's words indeed had an effect. Everyone looked at each other and looked at each other. None of the disciples present were idiots. Of course, they knew that the Sky Cloud Martial School was using them as cannon fodder. However, as disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School, were they really going to risk their lives for nothing? No one knew who took the lead, but more than 2,000 people turned around and ran quickly. In a short while, they had disappeared without a trace. At this moment, at the peak of Drifting Cloud's peak, corpses were everywhere, and blood flowed like a river. All of the Sky Cloud Martial School's disciples had been killed, and the rest had all escaped. Strictly speaking, only Tu Lei and Yihao were left in the whole Sky Cloud Martial School. A commander without an army. Looking at the corpses on the ground, it would be a lie to say that they were not moved. However, Yihao and Tu Lei knew that as long as they could kill Longao, they would not hesitate to destroy the whole Sky Cloud Martial School. Longao, I have to admit that you are really powerful. You are the most talented person I have ever seen. However, you will die for sure." Tu Lei waved his hand, and Yi Hao's body had already rushed out. Before he arrived, his powerful aura had already arrived. But before Yi Hao could react, Longao's wild devouring blade had already slashed over. Yellow Spring 9 consecutive strikes, Frozen Heart Devouring and Raging Flame Sea were stacked layer by layer, plus the erosion of the soul-suppressing seal. Just one slash had already cut Yi Hao in half. Yi Hao had been killed in one strike. Stupefied, Tu Lei seemed to find it hard to accept because he knew Yi Hao's strength. Yi Hao was the second strongest in the Sky Cloud Martial School, second only to himself. Tu Lei, it's your turn. Only Tu Lei was left in the Sky Cloud Martial School. As long as Yi Hao could kill Tu Lei, not only would he get his revenge, but the Sky Cloud Martial School would also be completely destroyed. Tu Lei seemed to be unable to accept this fact. However, in the next second, Tu Lei looked as if he had seen a ghost. He stared at Yi Hao, who had just come back from the dead, and almost screamed out loud. Soul Slave? Looking at the summoned soul servant, Longao naturally knew that this was a soul servant that Long Fu had refined for him. However, the speed was a little too fast. However, he did not think too much about this situation. Tu Lei looked at the corpses on the ground, then looked at Yi Hao, and said in disbelief, "You are not Yi Hao. You are just a soul? No matter what he is, you will die." Putting Yi Hao's soul slave back into the dragon space, he had already informed Long Fu to refine Yi Hao and the 6 soul slaves of the Nebula Guardian Hall, and channel their power into Long Chang's body. Tu Lei, today you and I will fight to the death. I hope you will not disappoint me. Ha ha ha, Longao. You think you can defeat me? As if he had heard the funniest thing in the world, Tu Lei suddenly looked up to the sky and laughed. His laughter was full of disdain and ridicule. Longao, I want to see how you can kill me today. Tu Lei finally moved. As a fusion warrior, Tu Lei's strength was not comparable to Yi Hao's. However, Longao was not afraid at all. Instead, he was full of fighting spirit. With white hair and black clothes, the arrogant young man stood on the top of the drifting cloud peak with blood-drinking broadsword in his hand. He ignored Tu Lei. When Tu Lei was 1 meter away from him, Longao's body began to move slowly. Soul-suppressing seal and blood-drinking were used at the same time. As for Longao, he turned sideways and attacked to the left. Once an expert made a move, one would know whether he was good or not. In fact, in Tu Lei's heart, he looked down on Longao. However, in less than 1 round, Tu Lei already knew that Longao's strength was almost on par with his. No wonder he dared to attack the flowing cloud sect alone. It was because of this that Tu Lei was even more determined to kill him. In this way, the two had fought for 3 rounds in the blink of an eye. There was no clear winner. Both of them wanted to kill the other, not giving the other any chance at all. The first 3 styles of blood-drinking 8 styles, the first style, 9 consecutive strikes, the second style, heart-devouring ice, and the third style, sea of flames, instantly superimposed on each other. Together with the soul-suppressing seal, they began to corrode Tu Lei's soul silently. Tu Lei, who had been very careful, was still corroded by the soul-suppressing seal. He was shocked and immediately divided his strength into 2. One side resisted the strange power that corroded his soul with all his strength, while the other side attacked Longao with all his strength. The soul-suppressing seal had already invaded Tu Lei's body. Longao was suddenly overjoyed. He would not give up this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The soul-suppressing seal came out one after another, and together with the blood-drinking 3 styles, he forced Tu Lei to retreat step by step. Longao, you dare to kill me? Kill. At this moment, Longao did not have the slightest mercy. He wanted to cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. Enough, Longao, if you don't stop, I can only kill you. At this time, a majestic voice sounded. Then, 3 figures appeared on the top of the drifting cloud peak. Chapter 111. Get out of my way. Killing Tu Lei was within his reach. At this moment, Longao was not going to stop. No matter who it was, he would not stop him. He would kill anyone who stood in his way. However, the old man's face turned cold. A terrifying aura burst out from his body and froze Longao in place. Not daring to continue moving, Longao was incomparably shocked because he realized that the three people who appeared in front of him were simply too powerful. Compared to the three of them, Tu Lei was like an ant compared to an elephant. Seeing the three people, Tu Lei was overjoyed. He immediately bowed and said, "Master, elders." "Master? Elder?" The old man who had just released his aura snorted and said, "Tu Lei, you are doing a good job as the master of the Sky Cloud sect." Tu Lei was shocked. He immediately knelt on the ground and said in a trembling voice, "Elder, it's my fault, it's my fault." Looking at Tu Lei kneeling on the ground, Longao was even more surprised. Who were these three people? Why would Tu Lei kneel to them? "Get out of my way." "Thank you, Elder." Tu Lei didn't dare to disobey at all. He stood up and stood aside, trembling with fear. His body was still trembling. "Who are you?" "Ha ha ha, Longao, you are really good. But you dare to provoke the Bloodsea sect. You will die." "Bloodsea sect?" Hearing the three words Bloodsea sect, Longao was also shocked. As a member of the Sky Province, of course he had heard of the Bloodsea sect. The Bloodsea sect was a super existence above the Thunder Empire. It was as famous as the Ghost King sect. It was easy to imagine what kind of existence the Bloodsea sect was. Was there a connection between the Sky Cloud sect and the Bloodsea sect? As if he could read Longao's mind, the Blood River sect's elder Du Hushuan sneered and said, "You don't even know who's backing the Flowing Cloud sect, yet you dare to be so presumptuous. You really don't know what death is." Another elder, who was also Du Hushuan's younger brother and an elder of the Bloodsea sect, Du Yunxian, said, "Longao, the Flowing Cloud sect is a branch of the Bloodsea sect. You have openly destroyed the Flowing Cloud sect, which is the same as going against the Bloodsea sect. Do you want to kill yourself here, or do you want us to do it?" Aura. The powerful aura emanating from the three of them made Longao not have the slightest confidence of winning, because the three of them were too powerful. Longao was very clear in his heart that even if he used the 9 needles to seal the gods, he might not be able to safely escape from the hands of these three people. "Star Cloud royal family, since you're here, come out." Following Du Hushuan's words, 3 people walked out from a short distance away. They were the Nebula Imperial Family's emperor, Ouyang Feng, Crown Prince, Ouyang Fei, and the National Guardian Hall's Hall Master, Tang Lin. Master Guan, 2 elders. Nodding indifferently, the Bloodsea sect's Master Guan Feng said coldly, "This is a grudge between Longao and the Bloodsea sect. I don't think the Star Cloud Kingdom will interfere." "Master, if the Star Cloud Kingdom dares to interfere, then just slaughter them." Du Hushuan's words were very arrogant, but everyone knew clearly that Du Hushuan did have the qualifications to be arrogant. Ouyang Feng's face was a bit bitter. He had forgotten that the Flowing Cloud sect was a branch of the Bloodsea sect. It could be said that he had made one wrong step after another. Even if he was very reluctant in his heart, he could only choose to compromise. "Master Guan, Longao has already left the National Guard Hall. Not long ago, the Star Cloud Kingdom gave the Scarlet Fire Town to the Long family. Therefore, from now on, whatever Longao does has nothing to do with the Star Cloud Kingdom." "Father," waving his hand, Ouyang Feng helplessly said, "This is a grudge between the Bloodsea sect and the Longao. It has nothing to do with the Star Cloud Kingdom." Hearing Ouyang Feng's words and looking at the helpless face of Ouyang Fei, Longao suddenly raised his head to the sky and laughed loudly. His laughter was filled with many different emotions. This was the Star Cloud Kingdom. This was the Star Cloud Kingdom that tried to rope him in not long ago. What a joke. Longao had already decided that no matter what, he would never join a kingdom like this. When you are useful, they hold you tightly. But when you are useless, they can't wait to kick you away. This was the Star Cloud Kingdom. Ouyang Feng is right. I, Longao, have nothing to do with the Star Cloud Kingdom. Not only now, but also in the future. After taking a deep look, Longao continued, "From now on, no matter what happens in the future, the safety of the Star Cloud Kingdom has nothing to do with me, Longao, or my family." Longao's meaning was very clear. Ouyang Feng was not an idiot. Of course, he understood. Brother Long, without giving Ouyang Fei any chance to speak, Longao smiled and said, Big brother Ouyang, I know your situation. I don't blame you. No matter what happens between me and the Star Cloud Kingdom in the future, you will always be my big brother. Let's go. Ouyang Fei didn't say anything before leaving. No matter what, the Star Cloud Kingdom was in the wrong first. Looking at the three leaving, Guanfeng and the other two sneered. After all, the Star Cloud Kingdom was not even a fart in their eyes. As long as the Blood River sect moved their fingers, they believed that they could easily destroy the entire Star Cloud Kingdom. Longao, seeing that you can be considered a genius, I will give you a chance. Kill yourself. Kill yourself, your sister. You dare to scold me? With a cold laugh, Longao scolded. You are a beast among scum. You are a waste of air if you live. You are a waste of land if you die. Let me give you a piece of advice. It's best if you buy 2 pounds of tofu and go home to kill yourself. Puchi, Aoshue. Father, I feel that Longao's scolding is really correct. The Blood Sea sect has always been shameless. Ao Shui, who had a face full of ridicule, pulled a middle-aged man out. Seeing the middle-aged man, the faces of Guanfeng and the other two changed slightly. Brother Guan, long time no see. How have you been? Brother Ao. Did you come this time to protect Longao? Longao was not an idiot. Seeing how close Ao Shui was to this middle-aged man, he had already guessed that this middle-aged man was the master of the Ghost King sect, Ao Tian. He was also Ao Shui's biological father. As for the purpose of Ao Shui and Ao Tian's visit, Longao was very clear. He was more or less touched. After all, he knew that if the Ghost King sect came to protect him, they would definitely provoke the Blood River sect. Ha ha ha, Brother Guan. I am not here to protect Longao. I am only here to see my future son-in-law. Not bad. Not bad at all. Ao Shui's taste is not bad. Father. Ao Shui's face was red, but her expression had already betrayed her. Seeing this situation, Guanfeng and the other two felt that something was wrong. Once Longao became the son-in-law of the Ghost King sect, if the Blood River sect continued to deal with him, wouldn't that be declaring war on the Ghost King sect? The Blood River sect could ignore the Star Cloud Kingdom, but they would not dare to ignore the Ghost King sect. Chapter 112. Ao Tian, the master of Ghost King sect, was also Ao Shui's father. Ignoring the three from Blood Sea sect, Ao Tian looked at the young man in front of him and asked, Long family? Level 6 Long family of Red Fire Town. Regarding this point, Long Ao was very clear. After all, the Long clan had countless branches. Just the level alone was divided into 9 levels. Level 6 Long clan was nothing to the entire Long clan. Yes, Ao Shui said she liked you very much. At first, I was worried, but now that I see you, I have agreed. Thank you, father. Sighing deeply, Ao Tian said helplessly, I only have one daughter. Sigh, what a headache. Looking at the father and daughter in front of them echoing each other, Guanfeng and the other two were completely furious. However, due to the strength of Ghost King sect, they dared to be angry but did not dare to act. But for Long Ao, the three were obviously determined to get him and would not give up easily. Brother Ao, it seems you are determined to protect this person? I just said, he is my future son-in-law. Needless to say, just this point alone was enough to express Ao Tian's meaning. The three were not fools, of course, they could understand. Looking deeply at the other party, Guanfeng said coldly, Ao Tian, the Green Mountain will not change. The green water will flow forever. My Blood Sea sect will definitely settle this debt with you. Let's go. Wait. Ao Tian, don't go too far. Ignoring the anger of the other party, Ao Tian said with a smile, Long Ao is my future son-in-law, so you better not touch him, including the Long family of Red Fire Town. Otherwise, Ghost King sect will start with Blood Sea sect. At this moment, Guanfeng was furious to the extreme, but he could not do anything. Without a choice, Guanfeng kicked Tu Lei's chest, turned around and quickly left. As for Tu Lei, he had already turned into a corpse on the ground. Thank you, Senior Ao Tian. Waving his hand, Ao Tian seemed to be very satisfied with his future son-in-law, smiled and said, Ao, if you don't mind, you can call me Uncle Ao? Uncle Ao. Long Ao was very clear that Ao Tian was willing to help him because of Aoshue. Otherwise, as the Ghost King of Ghost King's sect, how could he offend Blood Sea sect for him? Okay. Long Ao, my father and I saved you this time. You must remember to be grateful. Long Ao smiled, but didn't say anything. The strength displayed by the three from the Blood Sea sect just now was too strong. He even had a feeling that he was powerless to resist. As if he could read his mind, Ao Tian said, Why don't we find a place and I will tell you about Tianzhou? Thank you, Uncle Ao. Chihua Town, Bazaar, inside a tea house. Uncle Ao Tian, I want to know if there is an even higher realm above the Xiantian realm? Previously, when he faced the three of them, Long Ao had a feeling that Du Hushuan's strength was far above the consolidation realm. In the end, the Blazing Flame sect and Sound of Thunder sect won. So they dominated the secular world and established the Thunder Empire and Flame Empire. Hearing this, Long Ao was shocked. He never would have thought that the Thunder Empire and Flame Empire had such a powerful background. They actually had the support of the Blazing Flame sect and Sound of Thunder sect. No wonder the two great empires could dominate the entire Tianzhou. The other kingdoms didn't dare to resist at all. Of the 6 great sects, without a doubt, the Blazing Flame sect and Sound of Thunder sect are the strongest. Next is my Ghost King sect, so Guanfeng didn't want to shed all pretense of cordiality. However, Ao, the Blood Sea sect likes to play dirty. You have to be careful. I believe Guanfeng won't let this matter go. I know. Although this was the first time Long Ao had seen Guanfeng and the Blood Sea sect, he more or less knew. The reason Guanfeng let him go this time was because he was afraid of Ao Tian and the Ghost King sect. If Ao Tian wasn't by his side, would Guanfeng still sit and wait for death? Long Ao wasn't worried about himself. The only thing he was worried about was his family. Thinking about it, he finally said, Uncle Ao Tian, I want to ask you for a favor. I understand. I'll take care of your family. I believe the Blood Sea sect is afraid of my Ghost King sect and won't do anything to your family. However, it's hard to say for sure. How about this? Come with me to the Ghost King sect and cultivate for a few decades. At that time, even the Blood Sea sect won't be able to do anything to you. Chapter 113. Ao Tian's intention was very clear. He wanted Long Ao to hide in the Ghost King sect, so that the Blood Sea sect would not dare to act rashly. But would Long Ao agree? The answer was obvious. Long Ao would definitely not agree. Long Ao's character was like this. The more he fought, the braver he became. He would not be frightened by anything, including the Blood Sea sect. Shaking his head, Long Ao said firmly, Thank you, Uncle Ao Tian, but I still hope to solve my own problems. The Blood Sea sect will be my next target. Ao Tian was not surprised at all. He seemed to be very appreciative and said, Well, it's getting late. We should go. If you have any problems in the future, come to the Ghost sect to find me. Pulling up Aoshue, who was unwilling to leave, Ao Tian suddenly continued, Long Ao, remember, if you want to marry Aoshue, your current strength is far from enough. Looking at the two figures gradually disappearing, Long Ao did not give up at all. Instead, he clenched his hands and told himself, I will definitely let the whole world know that I, Long Ao, am the strongest. Since knowing that there were the 5 transformations realms above the innate realm, Long Ao became more diligent in his cultivation. Because he knew that according to his current strength, he had not reached the peak of the innate realm, let alone the 5 transformations realms. The acquired realm, the 5 innate realms, and the 5 transformations realms. Then, the news that Long Ao killed Long Ming had spread throughout the whole Tianzhou. Long Ming was a figure ranked 70th on the 100 battle ranking. Now that Long Ao had defeated Long Ming, it meant that from now on, Long Ao would replace Long Ming and become the 70th figure on the 100 battle ranking. Once the news came out, it completely shocked the whole Tianzhou. Long Ao, the most popular teenager in Tianzhou, rose strongly. In just a few months, he set out from the Red Fire Town and fought his way to Thunder City. Not only did he win the second place in the Thunder Battle, but he also became the 17th figure on the 100 Battle ranking. The 100 Battle ranking. The Tianwu continent was divided into 9 prefectures. Each prefecture had its own 100 battle roll, and the Tianzhou was no exception. Every prefecture had a 100 battle roll, and the 9 prefectures had 900 battle rolls. The 100 battle ranking list was a list that only warriors under the age of 40 could pursue. The 100 battle ranking list was the list with the most content among the younger generation in each province. Every young warrior wanted to be on the list to prove themselves to the world. Longao successfully became the 70th person on the 100 battle ranking list, but there was still a steady stream of challenges. After all, in this world, many people wanted to be famous, and challenging the people on the 100 battle ranking list became the fastest way for young warriors to become famous. That was how people were. They often didn't go to a deeper level to express their gratitude. In many people's eyes, even though Longao had risen in just a few short months, he was still too young. In addition, Longao's previous reputation as a trash caused many people to constantly challenge him. Longao did not show any mercy to those who challenged him. This was because Longao understood that if he didn't remove the root of the problem, it would bring him endless trouble. Chihua Town. Now Chihua Town had been separated and did not belong to Star Cloud Kingdom. A small town without the protection of the kingdom would definitely be coveted by others. But at this moment, Chihua Town was unusually safe, because there was a young man who rose up strongly. Not only that, Ghost King's sect had announced to the world that no one was allowed to touch the Long family in Chihua Town. Among them, the one who regretted it the most was the Star Cloud Kingdom, because until now, Tang Lin and Ouyang Feng had not reacted. They did not know when Longao had gotten involved with the Ghost King sect, and the Ghost King sect did not hesitate to shed all pretense of cordiality with the Blood Sea sect to protect Longao. Everyone knew very well what the Ghost King sect meant. As one of the 6 sects in Tianzhou, Ghost King's sect strength was second only to Flame sect and Thunder sect. If Star Cloud Kingdom could get the support of Ghost King sect, Star Cloud Kingdom would definitely rise. But in this world, there was no medicine for regret. Ouyang Feng already knew that it was almost impossible to rope in Longao, but he still didn't give up. He sent Ouyang Fei to Chihua Town in an attempt to ease the relationship between the two sides. In the end, Longao still met Ouyang Fei. But Longao's meaning was very simple. He treated Ouyang Fei as his big brother, but he had nothing to do with Star Cloud Kingdom. He didn't even mention it. Just like that, Ouyang Fei sighed deeply and left Star Cloud Kingdom. From then on, Chihua Town was completely separated from Star Cloud Kingdom. According to Longao's meaning, with Chihua Town's current strength, it would be very difficult to survive. The only way was to develop. Whether it was a town or a city, development wasn't something that could be achieved with strength. It required a large amount of gold coins. But now the Long family was no longer the same as before. With the support of everyone in Chihua Town had undergone earth-shaking changes in just a few months. Chihua Town, Long family, main hall. Chihua Town is now on the right track. If nothing unexpected happens, 10 years later, Chihua Town should be able to develop into an existence like Thundercloud City. Nodding his head, Longi said with surprise, originally, I thought that Chihua Town would have a hard time after leaving Star Cloud Kingdom, but now, it seems that we were overthinking. Looking at the happy faces of his father and grandfather, Longao also felt a kind of joy, because he knew that only when Chihua Town was strong, the Long family would be stronger. Therefore, developing Chihua Town was a must. Grandfather, father, I'll leave Chihua Town's killing intent to you. I'll leave Chihua Town in a while, and go out to gain experience. They weren't surprised at all because Long Haosher and Longi both knew that was no longer the child from before. Experts needed to be constantly tempered in order to grow. Be careful in everything. Remember, the Long family will always be your home. Whenever you're tired, come back. Got it. Late at night, the dark night was dotted with stars. Longao sat alone in a small courtyard. According to Longao's current position in the Long family, he didn't need to continue living in the small courtyard. But for some reason, Longao couldn't bear to leave this place. Master, I've already tested it. Soul slaves can't leave the dragon seal space for too long. Otherwise, they'll be killed by the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. Hearing this, Longao wasn't surprised at all. Originally, Longao thought that if he could leave a few soul slaves in the family, then even if the family had some situation, he wouldn't be too far away to help. But now, it was impossible for him to leave the soul slaves. The family didn't have any experts to oversee it. After thinking for a while, Longao's eyes suddenly lit up. Chapter 114. Inside the Dragon Seal Space. Long Fu, is there any way to refine some powerful soul slaves for my family? Master, I know what you mean, but it's impossible. After thinking for a while, Long Fu said, Master, in the blood pool, other than refining soul slaves, you can also refine corpse slaves. However, corpse slaves are weaker than soul slaves, so they can stay outside. He was overjoyed. Whether it was soul slaves or corpse slaves, as long as they could stay outside. Long Fu, how long will it take for you to refine all my soul slaves into corpse slaves? Master, you misunderstood. Refining corpse slaves doesn't require souls, but corpses, so I can't do anything about it. Corpses? Not souls? He was a little depressed. Longao knew that it wasn't easy to find a suitable corpse to refine into corpse slaves in a short period of time. Since that was the case, he would go out and look for it. The next day, early morning, Longao left the Scarlet Fire town under the gazes of the Long family. First stop, Longao went directly to the Thunder Forest. Because in Tianzhou, there were only two forests with the most powerful spiritual beasts. One was the Flame Forest, and the other was the Thunder Forest. 10 days later in the Thunder Forest, Longao and Long Chong shuttled through the forest. With one man and one dragon working together, there was almost no opponent. Because at this moment, Longao's cultivation had reached another level after 10 days of training, breaking through from the peak of evolution to the fusion realm. Longao was full of confidence. According to his current strength, once he joined forces with Long Chong, even if he faced a unification warrior, he would still have the strength to fight. Innate 5 realms, 100 scattered sky realm, 1 line sky realm, evolution realm, fusion realm, unification realm, transformation 5 realms, lightning tribulation realm, transformation realm, human king realm, earth sovereign realm, Tao ancestor realm. Longao's cultivation had already broken through the fusion realm. He was only one step away from officially advancing to the unification realm. At that time, he could work towards the transformation realm. So, no matter what, he had to find a way to break through to the unification realm as soon as possible. Unity Blood Demon Wolf Pack. Before Longao could react, he was already surrounded by hundreds of Consolidation Realm Blood Demon Wolves. Shocked, Longao did not dare to be careless. He joined forces with Long Chong and released a few soul slaves. Even so, Longao was still no match for hundreds of Consolidation Realm warriors. In just a few minutes, Longao was already riddled with wounds. Just as he was about to turn around and leave, he was once again struck by a blood demon wolf, and his entire body was sent flying. Enduring the waves of pain in his body, Longao turned around and left quickly. After running for an hour, he barely managed to shake off the Gorefiend wolves. It was a group battle, and they were all at the Consolidation Realm. Even if a Consolidation Realm warrior was here, he would be instantly killed by the blood demon wolves. There was no doubt about it. Sitting on the ground, Longao panted heavily. It seemed that his luck was not very good. In just 10 days, he had already encountered a pack of blood demon wolves. Not continuing to stay in the Thunder Forest, Longao dragged his battered body and walked towards Thunder City. At this moment, Longao finally knew that Thunder City was not ordinary. No matter what, the Thunder Kingdom was always supported by the Thunder Sect. Just this point alone made the Thunder Kingdom's position difficult to shake. As soon as he stepped into the Thunder Kingdom, Longao's whereabouts had already been discovered by various major forces, especially the Thunder Kingdom's third prince, Zhao Hao. The 32 kingdoms that had participated in the Thunder Battle had all received a kill order from Zhao Hao. But in the end, Longao was still safe and sound, and he even obtained second place in the thunder battle. Zhao Hao did not care about second place at all. He was prepared to send people to the Scarlet Fire Town to destroy the entire Long family. But in the end, before Zhao Hao could take action, the Ghost King sect had already sent news that no matter who it was, they were not allowed to touch the Long family of the Scarlet Fire Town. The Thunder Kingdom could ignore Longao, but they could not ignore the Ghost King sect. Because of this, even if Zhao Hao had 10,000 unwillingness and anger in his heart, he did not dare to deal with the Long family. He could only vent his anger on Longao. If Longao's generation was hiding in the Scarlet Fire Town, Zhao Hao would not be able to do anything. However, now that Longao stepped into Thunder City, he first found an inn and rested for a night. After his injuries had completely stabilized, he got up and headed to the auction house. Auction house, in a simple room. Brother Long, I was just about to look for you. The third prince, Zhao Hao, has already issued a kill order. No matter who it is, as long as they can kill you, not only will they receive a great reward, they can also become the disciple of the National Guard Hall's Deputy Hall Master. It is too reckless for you to enter Thunder City now. The third prince, Zhao Mang? Hearing the third prince, Zhao Mang, continue to issue a kill order for him, Longao was somewhat surprised. According to Longao's previous thoughts, as long as he could obtain a good ranking in the Thunder battle, then the Thunder royal family would stop. However, it seemed that this matter was not that simple. However, after thinking about it, he understood. No matter what, the Thunder royal family had the support of the Sound of Thunder sect behind them. How could the third prince, Zhao Hao, resist him? Without continuing to be entangled, Longao immediately crammed his knowledge on alchemy. As an alchemy genius, in just a few hours, he had roughly looked through many alchemy pills. After looking around, Longao discovered that there were many alchemy pills that could increase a cultivator's strength. However, they were divided into different grades. Obviously, high-grade alchemy pills were of great help to increase a cultivator's strength. Low-grade alchemy pills were of little help to increase a cultivator's strength. Among the numerous alchemy pills, Longao chose a type of pill called Rising Dragon Pill. According to the information he received, Longao already knew that alchemists were divided into different levels. From low to high, they were divided into Level 1 Alchemist, Level 2 Alchemist, Level 3 Alchemist, Level 4 Alchemist, Level 5 Alchemist, Level 6 Alchemist, Level 7 Alchemist, Level 8 Alchemist, Level 9 Alchemist, King Level Alchemist, Emperor Level Alchemist, Venerable Level Alchemist, Emperor Level Alchemist, Emperor Level Alchemist, and God Level Alchemist. Correspondingly, pills were also divided into different grades. From low to high, they were Level 1 pills, Level 2 pills, Level 3 pills, Level 4 pills, Level 5 pills, Level 6 pills, Level 7 pills, Level 8 pills, Level 9 pills, King Level pills, Emperor Level pills, Venerable Level pills, Emperor Level pills, and Divine Level pills. Thinking about his current level of alchemy, Longao helplessly knew that according to his current level of alchemy, he was at most a Tier 9 alchemist. Even so, it was impossible to refine the Rising Dragon Pill. The Rising Dragon Pill was an Emperor-level pill. With his current level of alchemy, would he be able to successfully refine it? With no other choice, Longao could only go to the Alchemy Guild to see if he could buy the Rising Dragon Pill. As the saying goes, if you don't see it, you won't know. Once he saw it, he was shocked. The price of one Rising Dragon Pill was too expensive. Not to mention a few, he couldn't even afford one. In the end, Longao decided to give up on the pill and wait until he could refine the Rising Dragon Pill in the future. Longao had just returned to the inn when he was summoned by the Thunder Imperial family. Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew that he was in Thunder City. If he didn't go, the consequences would be unimaginable. Thunder Imperial family. As the absolute overlord of the Thunder Empire, the Thunder Imperial family's position was unshakable. In a pavilion in the back garden, Longao came to the pavilion and found that there were only two people. One of them was a middle-aged man wearing a yellow robe with a dignified face. There was no need to guess. Longao already knew that this middle-aged man should be the Thunder Empire's emperor, Zhao Mang. Longao pays his respects to your majesty. Longao didn't kneel. Xiaomeng didn't seem to mind. He smiled and said, Longao, come and sit. Let me introduce you. This is the National Guard Hall's Hall Master, Gu Bai. The National Guard Hall's Hall Master, Gu Bai? Longao seemed a little surprised because he knew very well that the National Guard Hall of the Thunder Empire and the National Guard Hall of the Star Cloud Kingdom were fundamentally different. It wasn't just strength, but also status and identity. Longao didn't have the slightest trace of politeness. He sat in the pavilion, picked up the teacup on the stone table, took a sip and praised, "Good tea?" Gubai and Xiaomeng seemed a little surprised to see that Longao didn't have the slightest trace of restraint. At this time, Gubai said, Longao, this time you won the 2nd place of the Thunder Battle and entered the 70th place of the 100 Battle ranking. I am now officially inviting you to join the Thunder Empire Guard Hall. I don't know if you're interested. It would be strange if an ordinary person wasn't happy to receive Gubai's invitation. However, Longao was very calm because he had already guessed that the Thunder Empire Guard Hall would invite him since he won the 2nd place of the Thunder Battle. Hall Master, I believe you all know about the matter between me and the National Guard Hall. To be honest, I no longer trust any National Guard Hall. Therefore, I have decided that from now on, I will not join any National Guard Hall. Gubai and Xiaomeng naturally knew about the matter between Longao and the National Guard Hall. Gubai smiled and said, the Star Cloud Kingdom is indeed in the wrong. However, Longao, I can assure you that as long as you join the Thunder Empire Guard Hall, no matter what happens, the National Guard Hall will not abandon you. If I violate this promise, may the heavens and earth destroy me. Chapter 116. He was very surprised. Longao never thought that Gubai would say that. But could he really agree? The answer was obviously no. With an apologetic expression, Longao spoke the truth. I believe the hall leader's words. But I'm still very sorry. I can't join the Thunder Nation Guardian Hall. Longao thought that Gubai would be angry, but he didn't expect that Gubai wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled and said, I understand. Xiaomeng, who had been silent all this time, suddenly said, Longao, we know about your situation, so we won't force you. As for what Howard did to you before, I've already stopped him. Longao didn't say anything because he didn't like Zhao Hao very much. But seeing Zhao Hao's old man like this, Longao didn't continue to argue. Not to mention, with his current strength, he couldn't fight against the entire Thunder Nation. Not to mention, the Thunder Nation had the Thunder Sect support. Your Majesty, you called me here this time. Is there something you need? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he could hear the hidden meaning in Xiaomeng's words. It couldn't be just for this matter. As expected, Xiaomeng and Gu Bai looked at each other. Xiaomeng said, Longao, you should have heard of the Fire Nation, right? Longao nodded. Of course, he wasn't unfamiliar with the Fire Nation. As one of the 2 great empires in Tianzhou, the Fire Nation and the Thunder Nation were absolute overlords of Tianzhou. The 2 empires jointly controlled the entire Tianzhou. Longao was curious. He didn't know why Xiaomeng suddenly mentioned the Fire Nation to him. Longao, I'll get straight to the point. Within Tianzhou, there are only 2 great empires that can dominate, the Fire Nation and the Thunder Nation. Every few years, the 2 empires will hold a war for supremacy. During the war, the winner can obtain the treasures of both empires. War for supremacy? Longao still didn't understand. What did the war between the Fire Nation and the Thunder Nation have to do with him? Every war of hegemony is actually a battle between the 2 empires to gain face. In the last 3 war of hegemony, our Thunder Empire has already lost 3 times in a row. Thus, in this war of hegemony, we can only win, not lose. Your Majesty, does this have anything to do with me? Both empires will send out 20 Xiantian realm martial artists to participate in every war of supremacy. Therefore, I hope that you can represent the Thunder Empire in this war of supremacy. Here comes the main topic. Longao also hadn't expected that Xiaomeng would allow him to represent the Thunder Empire in the struggle for supremacy. Before Longao could speak, Xiaomeng said, Longao, As long as you can represent the Thunder Empire in the War of Hegemony, you can make 2 requests. Your Majesty, can I ask you a question? Sure. There are many experts in the Thunder Empire. Why choose me? Longao was very puzzled by this. The Thunderclap Empire was filled with experts and even had the support of the Thunderclap sect. Since that was the case, why would Zhao Meng come looking for him? After all, he wasn't invincible. Chuckling, Zhao Meng said, Longao, I've already investigated your potential and strength. Only Xiantian martial artists are allowed to participate in the struggle for hegemony between the 2 countries. And among Xiantian martial artists, your strength should be able to help the Thunder Empire. So that's how it is. When all was said and done, the 20 people each country could send out could only be Xiantian martial artists. As for Transformation Realm martial artists, they couldn't participate. Longao, what do you think? Longao smiled helplessly in his heart. He was very clear that since Zhao Meng had already come looking for him, it seemed he was determined to win. If he refused, would that work? Helpless, Longao nodded and said, Your Majesty, I can agree. I have 2 conditions. The first condition is that the Thunder Empire must fully support the development of Scarlet Flame Town, but Scarlet Flame Town must still exist independently. No problem. Within 3 years, Scarlet Flame Town will surpass Starcloud City. Zhao Meng didn't even think about it and directly agreed. This matter was simply a drop in the bucket for Thunder Empire. The second condition is that the Thunder Empire will give me 100 Rising Dragon Pills. I want them now. 100 Rising Dragon Pills was an exorbitant demand. The value of 100 Rising Dragon Pills was simply too great. But Longao was very clear in his heart that 100 Rising Dragon Pills might be impossible for him, but to the Thunder Empire, it was nothing. Zhao Meng thought for a moment and asked, Longao, I'll ask you this. What do you need so many Rising Dragon Pills for? To increase my strength. Gubai, who was at the side, suddenly said, Longao, I want to remind you that if you take too many Tunglong Dan, not only will it not have any benefits, it will also hinder your cultivation speed. 3 Tunglong Dan is enough, and it is also the most suitable for you. Longao naturally knew that Gubai had good intentions. He smiled and said, Your Majesty, Hall Master, I know what to do. Good. Since that's the case, 100 Rising Dragon Pills isn't a problem. You'll officially set off in 10 days, so you have 10 days to properly cultivate. Since things had already reached this point, Longao didn't continue to stay. He took the 100 Rising Dragon Pills and turned to leave. Brother Gu, Longao is only in the fusion realm. Is he really qualified to represent the Thunder Empire in the struggle for supremacy? Nodding his head, Gubai said, This child's talent and potential are top-notch. Moreover, the person that the Ghost King has taken a fancy to should have some outstanding aspects. Your Majesty, this child will represent the Thunder Empire in the war between the 2 countries. Perhaps he can really turn the tables for us. Zhao Meng still seemed a little uneasy, but since Gubai had already said so, he couldn't say anything more. Your Majesty, don't worry. I have confidence in this child. It's just that the 3rd prince, Zhao Meng waved his hand, seemingly disliking this son of his very much. He said angrily, Useless thing. If it wasn't for the Thunder sect, I would have crippled this thing long ago. Our imperial family's face is completely lost. Your Majesty, you still can't let go of that matter. How can I let go? That matter is the shame of my life. Sooner or later, I will definitely get it back. Looking at His Majesty beside him, Gubai sighed deeply and said, Your Majesty, with the strength and foundation of the Thunder sect, it's almost impossible for us to break away from them. Zhao Meng waved his hand, and his expression returned to normal. He suddenly smiled and said, Of course I know that with our current strength, it's impossible for us to break away from the Thunder sect. But our opportunity is coming. As long as the old ancestor comes out of seclusion, we might be able to break away. Old ancestor? At first, Gubai was overjoyed. Then, his expression turned serious again. Even if the old ancestor comes out of seclusion, can the Thunder Empire really break away from the Thunder sect? Chapter 117. After leaving the back garden, just as Longao was about to leave, a youth walked towards him. His face was cold and his expression was as ugly as it could be. Longao, consider yourself lucky this time, but don't think that I will let you go. Zhao Hao, you are the Empire's third prince? Zhao Hao didn't know what Longao meant by this, but he still nodded and asked, so what if I am? With a contemptuous smile, Longao said, and here I thought you were a street hoodlum. I always thought that with your patriotism, dedication, and backbone, you would look like a person. But now, I realize that I was wrong. You. Without waiting for Zhao Hao to say anything, Longao continued, a person is cheap for life. A pig is cheap with a knife. For someone like you, living is a waste of air. I believe that when you die, you will also be a waste of land. Sad, sad. Hearing this, Zhao Hao was instantly enraged. As the third prince of the Thunder Empire, who dared to speak to him like this? But due to Zhao Meng's orders, Zhao Hao could only be angry and didn't dare to do anything. A prince was a prince. His status was always below the emperor. However, Zhao Hao sneered and said, Longao, if it weren't for Imperial Father's orders, you would already be dead. Trash. Ha ha ha, Zhao Hao, can you do it with just you? Seeing the contempt on Zhao Hao's face, Zhao Hao was clearly enraged. However, Zhao Hao was no fool. He knew very well that with his strength, he was simply no match for the other party. Clenching his fists tightly, Zhao Hao suddenly sneered and said, Longao, I heard that this time, you will be representing the imperial family in the struggle for power between the two countries. I advise you to be careful in everything you do. Otherwise, when the time comes, you won't even know how you died. Longao couldn't be bothered with Zhao Hao. He was just a parasite that relied on the imperial family to commit crimes. He turned and left. Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, Zhao Hao's lips curled into a sinister smile. He muttered to himself, Longao, I will make you regret this. After leaving the Thunder Imperial family, Longao used his fastest speed to find an extremely secluded place. 10 days. 10 days later, he would be representing the Thunder Empire in the struggle for power between the two countries. Therefore, in these 10 days, every bit of strength increase was a little bit. 100 Rising Dragon Pills. Longao knew that he couldn't consume 100 Rising Dragon Pills at the same time. In the Dragon Seal space. Long Fu, do you have a way to refine the 100 Rising Dragon Pills in my hands into energy that I can absorb? Nodding his head, Long Fu said, Master, it's possible. As long as you put all 100 Rising Dragon Pills into the blood pool, you'll be able to refine energy for your cultivation. Longao didn't ask any questions about the blood pool because he knew that even if he asked, Long Fu might not tell him. Since that was the case, why bother? Long Fu, how long will it take to refine 100 Rising Dragon Pills? 3 days. Nodding his head, 3 days was nothing to a cultivator. After leaving the Dragon Seal space, Longao returned to the inn. He was stopped by a person. It was Long Ili, who he had beaten away during the day. At this moment, Longao finally released his killing intent. He coldly said, Long Ili, do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Do you dare? Longao still suppressed his impulse. After all, the Long family behind Long Ili was a 4th-rank family. It wasn't something a 6th-rank family could compare to. Long family was a powerful family in the Martial Sky continent. They had countless branches and were divided into 9 ranks. A 9th-rank family was the lowest and a 1st-rank family was the highest. Furthermore, a 3rd-rank Long family could enter the Dragon Valley and find a dragon as a companion to become a dragon warrior. If he was alone, Longao wouldn't have the slightest misgivings. But no matter what, he had a family behind him. He couldn't implicate his sect. Longao, I didn't come to find trouble with you. I heard that you're going to represent the Thunder Imperial family in the Battle of the Two Empires. Longao wasn't surprised at all because he already had a general understanding of the war of hegemony between the two empires. The Thunder National Guard Hall wasn't the only one participating in the war of hegemony between the two empires. Even the 3 great clans would send experts to participate. In other words, The Thunder Imperial family and the three great families would be sending out 20 people. So what if I am? Nothing. I just want to make a deal with you. How about it? Deal? Longao was very surprised. He didn't know why, but he felt that the current Long Eli was different from the hedonistic young master he had seen during the day. What deal? I know your strength and potential. I also know a thing or two about you. So, the deal is very simple. In the battle of the two empires, you help me kill someone. You can name any price you want. Kill someone? Who? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he wouldn't agree immediately. Who knew who Long Eli wanted to kill? If it was a transformation realm cultivator, not to mention killing the other party, it would be good enough if he didn't get killed. Long Jing, an elder of my rank 4 Long family. He's also my father's enemy. Now, I just want to ask if you agree to this deal? Long Jing also wants to participate in the battle of the two empires. Yes. Although Long Eli didn't say it explicitly, Long Ao already knew Long Jing's strength. Chapter 118. Although Long Ao put forward 2 conditions, it was actually 1 condition, but the premise was that he had to fulfill it immediately. Long Eli, my condition is very simple. If I help you kill Long Jing, you have to give me 1,000 Tunglong pills. What did you say? Long Eli seemed to have not reacted. After all, he knew better than anyone what 1,000 Tunglong pills meant. Long Ao, are you out of your mind? You actually want 1,000 Tunglong pills? Do you really think I have to find you? Long Eli was clearly enraged. What kind of joke was this? 1,000 rising dragon dawn? Not to mention him, even if it was the 4th rank Long family or even the Thunder Imperial family, wanting to take out 1,000 rising dragon dawn was not an easy matter. Long Ao still had an indifferent expression and said indifferently, Long Eli, you have to remember that you are begging me now, not me begging you. 1,000 Tunglong pills, not 1 less. Before Long Eli could speak, Long Ao continued, 1,000 Tunglong pills can let my cultivation break through to the consolidation realm. At that time, I have full confidence that I can help you kill Long Jing. Whether you agree or not depends on you, not on me. 1,000 Tunglong pills. Long Eli really wanted to agree, but he really could not take out 1,000 Tunglong pills. Could it be that he had to give up just like that? But one had to know that he had waited for this opportunity for a full 10 years. If he gave up, who knew when he would get another opportunity? So Long Eli told himself that no matter what happened, he could not give up. Long Jing must die. Thinking of this, Long Eli said, Long Ao, I know that you want 1,000 Tunglong pills to increase your strength. How about this? I will use other treasures to replace them. How about it? Hearing Long Eli's words, Long Ao was very surprised and asked, let me hear it. If I'm satisfied, I can replace it. I don't have 1,000 Tunglong pills, but I have a 10,000-year-old blood Lingji. Even if its value is not worth 1,000 Tunglong pills, I believe it will be of great help to you to increase your strength. 10,000-year-old blood Lingji? What the hell was that? Long Ao did not know what the 10,000-year-old blood Lingji was. Master, promise him. Hearing Long Fu's words, Long Ao's heart moved. But before he agreed, he asked, Long Eli, there is one thing that I am very suspicious of. Since you possess the 10,000 years old blood Lingji, why did you give it to me? Why didn't you consume it? Or find someone else to take it? As if he had already guessed that Long Ao would ask such a question, Long Eli didn't feel the slightest bit surprised. Firstly, with my strength, once I consume the 10,000-year blood Lingji, my body will immediately explode and I will die. Long Ao agreed with this point. After all, the treasure that Long Fu had taken a fancy to was at the level of the 10,000-year-old blood Lingji. Secondly, if I were to look for an expert, who would I look for if they took my 10,000 years old blood Lingji but didn't fulfill the agreement? If you look for someone weak, not only will it be useless, you will also lose a 10,000-year-old blood Lingji. Originally, Long Ao still had questions, but after hearing Long Eli's words, he nodded his head and said, I will ask you one last question. Why did you choose me? I don't know why, but I just think that you can avenge me. It's that simple. It's that simple. Deal. Longao didn't continue to speak nonsense. If he were to give up such a good thing, even he would feel sorry for himself. He said, I want the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji now. Long Ili didn't continue to speak, but turned around and left. Longao was somewhat impatient. He returned to the tavern and communicated with the dragon mark with his soul. He immediately entered the dragon mark space and impatiently asked, Long Fu, you know about the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji? Yes, master. The 10,000-year-old bloodlingji is 10 times more valuable than the 100 rising dragon pellets you just gave me. Moreover, it is more beneficial for you and Longchang to cultivate. Hearing this, Longao was delighted and said, Since it is like this, I will leave the matter of refining the 100 rising dragon pellets and the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji to you. Long Fu, remember one thing, you must be fast. No problem, master. Please be at ease. After leaving the dragon seal space, Longao sat in an inn, ordered some breakfast and ate a simple meal. Long Ili left quickly and returned quickly. In a short half an hour, he had already returned with the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. He said, Longao, I hope you can abide by the agreement between us. If you don't believe me, we can immediately cancel our agreement. When he turned around and left, Long Ili's voice was transmitted. Longao, I hope you don't disappoint me. Otherwise, I will not let you off. Looking at the figure gradually disappearing into the distance, Long Ao's eyes began to gradually cool down. He had already discovered that Long Ili wasn't like his usual self, hiding his strength deeply. Long Ao didn't continue to think about what kind of person Long Ili was. He only knew one thing, and that was to help Long Ili kill Longjing. Then, he would be able to obtain the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. Not daring to have the slightest hesitation, Long Ao immediately sent the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji he had just obtained into the dragon mark space. He was pleasantly surprised. Long Ao was very clear in his heart that once Long Fu finished refining the 100 rising dragon pills and the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji, not only him, but even Xiao Chang would be able to increase his strength. The sacred desolation physique required a large amount of energy to be poured in. Now, there were two sacred desolation physiques walking together. The amount of energy required was astronomical. After dealing with the problem of energy, Long Ao had two things to do next. The first thing was to absorb the energy refined from the blood pool in 3 days and quickly increase his strength. The second thing was to participate in the Battle of the Two Nations in 10 days. Not only did he have to obtain a ranking, but he also had to kill Longjing. Brother, are you called Brother Long Ao? Looking at the little girl who had suddenly appeared in front of him, Long Ao was very curious. He squatted down and asked in an extremely gentle voice, Little sister, my name is Long Ao. Are you looking for me for something? The little girl's chubby smiling face suddenly stretched out her hand and said immaturely, Brother Long Ao, someone asked me to bring you a message, but you have to give me 100 gold coins first. 100 gold coins? Long Ao was very curious. He didn't know who was looking for him. Out of curiosity, he took out 100 gold coins from his bosom and gave it to the little girl. He asked, Little sister, what is it? Brother Long Ao, that person asked me to bring you a message. He said that he wants you to meet him at the moon-gazing tower in 10 minutes. Looking at the little girl who had turned around and left, Long Ao became even more curious. Moon-gazing tower? Long Ao suddenly thought, could it be a trick played by the third prince, Zhao Hao? That shouldn't be the case. Zhao Hao is only a prince. How could he dare to cause trouble for him so openly? Was he not afraid of Zhao Meng's reprimand? However, even if that was the case, Long Ao still walked toward the moon-gazing tower, a very famous scenic spot in Thunder City. Chapter 119. Moon-Gazing Pagoda. Moon-Gazing Pagoda, Thunder City's most famous scenic spot. Every year, many people would come to see the moon-gazing pagoda. Long Ao arrived at the moon-gazing pagoda and looked at the 9-story pagoda. Even now, Long Ao still couldn't figure out who would invite him here. Was it really the third Prince Zhao Hao? Long Ao had been thinking about this question the whole time as he walked. He realized that this was almost an impossible thing. If it really was the third Prince Xiao Hao, why would he look for a little girl? 9-story moon gazing pagoda. Since he was already here, Longao didn't continue. He finally took a step forward, one floor after another. After a few minutes, he finally arrived at the top of the moon gazing pagoda. At this moment, Longao finally realized that something was wrong. As Thunder City's most famous scenic spot, the moon gazing pagoda could be said to be filled with a sea of people, even a little crowded. But now, the entire moon gazing pagoda, from the first to the 9th floor, was empty. In the entire Thunder City, there were only 2 people who could do this. One was the Thunder Imperial Family's emperor, Zhao Mang, and the other was the Thunder National Guardian Hall's hall master, Gu Bai. Since you asked me to come here, why don't you show yourself? No one answered. If you still don't show yourself, then I'll leave first. Longao turned around and prepared to leave. This move of retreating in order to advance was very effective. With a p sound, Aoshue slowly walked out with her hand covering her mouth. Seeing Aoshue, Longao was stunned at first, then he smiled. Seeing Aoshue at this time, it was indeed a wonderful thing to send charcoal in snowy weather. What's more, Aoshue was the woman who took his first time. Just this point alone, Aoshue, this woman, he would never forget for the rest of his life. Longao, you just saw me. Are you going to leave? How would I know it was you? Coming to Aoshue's side, Longao asked curiously, Aoshue, how did you do it? Aoshue certainly understood the meaning of Longao's words. He smiled mysteriously and said, don't worry. Although the Thunder Empire has the support of the Sound of Thunder sect, they have to give face to the Ghost King sect. I'm only using the moon gazing pagoda for a day. The Thunder Imperial family won't refuse. This was power. This was a foundation. Longao knew very well that if it was just Aoshue alone, it would be impossible to achieve this. All of this was because of the Ghost King sect behind Aoshue. Longao still wanted to say something, but Aoshue hushed him. After that, neither of them continued to speak. They stood quietly on the 9th floor of the moon-gazing tower, looking at the setting sun in the distance. The sun was setting in the west, leaving behind a red glow on the horizon. The glow of the sunset sprinkled on the calm ground, causing the ground to shine with a brilliant radiance. A gentle breeze blew across the country, causing layers of ripples to appear on the ground. Each ripple was jumping, as if there were countless pairs of golden eyes blinking. It was very beautiful. Dusk finally left, and darkness gradually descended. Aoshue stretched and said with a sigh, the sunset is the most beautiful. Longao, I heard that you're going to participate in the war between the 2 countries? Longao didn't hide anything from Aoshue. He nodded and said, yes. Listen to me, immediately withdraw from the war between the 2 countries. This matter won't benefit you at all. Looking at Aoshue's serious face, Longao was very curious. He asked in confusion, Aoshue, why? Longao, you don't know. The Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire both have sects behind them. The war between the 2 countries is actually a battle between the Fire sect and the Thunder sect. If you lose, your life will be in danger. If you win, not only will you offend the Fire Empire, you will also offend the Fire sect. Why do you want to do something that will put you in an awkward situation? So that's how it is. Thinking about Aoshue's words, Longao felt that this matter was indeed very troublesome. After all, the war between the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire was related to the reputation of the 2 sections. Whether he won or lost, it would be a troublesome matter. Before this, Longao indeed hadn't thought about these problems. If he knew that this matter would be so troublesome, he wouldn't have agreed no matter what. However, Longao was very clear that since he had already agreed, he had to see it through to the end. A person must have integrity. It was because of this that Longao said, Aoshue, I've already made up my mind. No matter what, I will participate in the war between the 2 countries in 10 days. Aoshue understood Longao's character very well. Although she was a bit worried, she said, Longao, you must remember, don't be reckless. Don't stick your head out. Do your best to hide yourself. Understand? Longao naturally knew that Aoshue was doing this for his own good. He nodded and promised, don't worry, I will keep my life. Just like this, Aoshue and Longao left the moon-gazing tower. In the next minute, the originally empty moon-gazing tower was once again filled with a sea of people. 80% of the people were cursing, but they didn't dare to say anything. After all, the one who sealed the moon-gazing tower was the Thunder Imperial family. Longao was very surprised by Aoshua's sudden appearance this time, but more than that, he felt warm. Returning to the inn, Longao didn't continue to wander around. Instead, he quietly stayed in the inn and cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. The third day, dusk. Long Fu had successfully refined 100 rising dragon pills and 10,000 years old blood Lingji mushrooms. They turned into a powerful force that continuously entered Long Ao and Long Chang's bodies. The crazy influx of power made Long Ao and Long Chang not dare to be careless. Whether it was Long Ao or Long Chang, they knew very well that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the two of them. Long Ao and Long Chang both had the desolate saint body. The amount of power they needed was definitely a terrifying number. However, the power refined from 100 rising dragon pills and 10,000 years old blood Lingji mushrooms was a very large existence. It was enough for Long Ao and Long Chang to absorb. However, Long Ao and Long Chang weren't fools. Of course, they knew that it was impossible for them to absorb all of it. If that was the case, not only would it not benefit them, but it would also be harmful. It was precisely because of this that Long Ao and Long Chang only absorbed 1/3 of it. They were both cultivating and preparing for a breakthrough. In just 5 days, Long Ao and Long Chang's cultivation had both broken through to the peak of the fusion realm. They were only one step away from officially breaking through to the consolidation realm. However, time didn't allow for it. After all, the next day was the battle between the two countries. Today, the emissaries of the Fire Empire would enter Thunder City. On the 9th day, there was only 1 day left before the battle between the two countries. As the emissary of the Thunder Empire, Long Ao was summoned into the palace by the Thunder Imperial family. In the main hall, Xiaomeng sat on the dragon throne while Gu Bai sat beside him. Below them, besides the princes, were the 20 participants of the battle between the two countries. Long Ao stood at the back. Looking at the 19 people in front of him, he had a rough understanding of them. Of the 19 people, 10 were from the Thunder Imperial family. The remaining 9 were from the 3 major families. Including himself, there were 20 people in total. Chapter 120. Long Jing? Looking at the Long Jing that Long Ili was talking about, Long Ao's lips curled into a cold smile.
Cough, cough.
At this time, Xiaomeng suddenly said, "Everyone here is the cornerstone of my Thunder Empire. This time, you will be representing my Thunder Empire in the struggle for supremacy between the two countries." The 20 people who represented the Thunder Empire in the war were all unification martial artists. Only Long Ao was a fusion martial artist. Because of this, the 19 people looked down on Long Ao. But because of Xiaomeng, they couldn't say anything. "Everyone, the envoy from the Flame Empire will arrive soon. Follow me to welcome them." The location of the war changed. This time, the war was held in the Flame Empire. The next war would be held in the Thunder Empire. This time, it was the Thunder Empire's turn. Then, Xiaomeng and Gu Bai personally led Long Ao, the 20 people, and the princes out of the hall. They stood at the entrance of the palace, waiting for the envoy from the Flame Empire. After a while, the sound of horse hooves came from afar. Then, 20 tall horses rushed over. Even after entering the market, they didn't seem to have any intention of slowing down. Seeing this, Xiaomeng, Gu Bai, and the others' expressions changed. But because of the Flame Empire, they could only endure it. The Flame Empire was one of the 2 great empires in Tianzhou. This time, the Flame Empire sent a total of 22 people. Other than the 20 who were participating in the war, there was also the deputy head of the Flame Empire's National Guard Hall, Gu Feng, and Prince Dongfeng Suo. Long Ao had a basic understanding of the 22 people's identity and strength. Because of this, he was curious. When he participated in the Thunder Battle, he killed the deputy head of the Thunder National Guard Hall, Xiao Cheng, who was only a peak fusion warrior. But what about the Flame Empire? The deputy head of the Flame Empire was a unification warrior. How could a warrior at the peak of the fusion stage become the deputy hall master of the Thunder National Guard Hall? After a while, the envoy from the Flame Empire entered the palace. Zhaomeng received him personally and said with a smile, "The Thunder Empire welcomes the envoy from the Flame Empire." "Ha ha ha, Your Majesty is too polite. His Majesty asked me to take care." Zhaomeng's expression became indifferent. He turned and left. Gu Feng shrugged, not minding, and followed him. Inside the main hall, as soon as everyone took their seats, both sides started introducing each other. The Fire Empire and Thunder Empire had 20 people each. It could be said that whether it was the 20 people from the Flame Empire or the Thunder Empire, they were all elites among elites of the two empires. Out of the 40 people from the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire who were participating in the war, 39 of them were unification warriors. Only one person, Longao from the Thunder Empire, was a fusion warrior. The 22 people from the Fire Empire seemed to be surprised. They could not understand why the Thunder Empire would send out a fusion martial artist. The Thunder Empire is getting more and more useless. Looks like our Flame Empire is going to win the championship 4 times in a row. How boring. What the F***ck are you talking about there? It was a rare sight for a Unification Realm warrior to scold someone. However, at this moment, although the war between the two countries had not officially begun, the two empires were already surging with undercurrents. Am I wrong? The Thunder Empire actually sent out a fusion martial artist to participate in the war between the two countries. I don't know if the Thunder Empire is useless, or if they have lost their confidence and dare not continue to fight with our Flame Empire. Yes, if the Thunder Empire gives up, we will announce to the world that you lost and not ran away in fear. Insolent. Gu Bai's face turned cold as a powerful aura emanated from his body, directly suppressing the entire area. Of the 40 over people present, not a single one was able to withstand it. It was like an ant facing an elephant. Metamorphosis Realm Warrior. Feeling the powerful aura emitted from Gu Bai's body, Longao's heart moved. He had already guessed that Gu Bai was a transformed martial artist who was above the Xintian martial artists. No wonder Gu Bai could become the Hall Master of the Thunder National Guard Hall. The Fire Empire is too presumptuous. Whoever the Thunder Empire sends to participate in the war between the two countries is our business. What does it have to do with the Fire Empire? The 22 people from the Fire Empire were speechless. None of them dared to say a word. No matter what, they were still part of the Thunder Empire. What if the other party really went crazy and killed all 22 of them? The aura of a Metamorphosis Realm Warrior was terrifying. It was impossible for a mere Xintian Realm Warrior to withstand it. However, Gu Bai only released it for a few minutes before choosing to give up. No matter what, the 22 people represented the Fire Empire. If they were killed without participating in the war between the two countries, the consequences would be severe. Zhaomeng suddenly laughed and said heartily, "The war between the two countries will begin tomorrow. The 22 of you can go and rest first." It wasn't easy for someone to come out and smooth things over. The 22 people didn't dare to stay any longer. One after another, they ran away faster than rabbits. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared without a trace. Longao looked at all this coldly. From the moment he decided to participate in the war between the two countries, he was already prepared to bear all this. Fusion Realm Warriors, among the 19 Unification Realm Warriors, were indeed like cranes in a flock of chickens. However, Longao didn't care. Longao was full of confidence. With his current strength, even if he met a Unification Realm Warrior, he would definitely be able to fight. If he could join forces with Long Chong, even killing a Unification Realm Warrior would be a piece of cake. It was precisely because of this that Longao wasn't worried in the slightest. Longao, you can treat the Fire Empire's words as nonsense. Tomorrow, in the war between the two countries, everything depends on you. Everything depends on you. Gu Bai's words caused an uproar. After all, Longao was the only Fusion Realm Warrior among the 20 people. What right did Longao have to rely on you? Upon hearing Gu Bai's words, Longao's heart turned cold. He wasn't a fool. Of course, he could understand the meaning behind Gu Bai's words. Could Gu Bai want to harm him? After thinking about it, Longao felt that this wasn't quite possible. No matter what, Gubai was still the Hall Master of the Thunder Nation Protection Hall. If he wanted to deal with him, there was no need for him to do so. He just had to do it openly. Furthermore, Gubai had the support of the Thunder Nation and the National Guard Hall behind him. If he wanted to deal with him, it would be a piece of cake. What exactly did Gubai mean? Sure enough, as soon as Gubai finished speaking, the 19 members who were participating in the battle for supremacy glared at Longao. Each and every one of them looked like fiends, wishing that they could go up and bite him to death. Chapter 121. Inside the main hall. Only Xiaomeng and Gubai were left in the main hall. Xiaomeng's expression was grave as he asked, "Brother Gu, what is the meaning of this?" Gubai naturally knew what Xiaomeng meant. He replied coldly, "Your Majesty, this brat is too daring. He actually killed Xiaocheng and the other three. If I don't do something, how can I answer to the National Guard Hall?" If Longao was present, he would definitely be shocked to hear Gubai's words. Back then, when Longao killed Xiaocheng and the other three in the Thunder Forest, no one saw it. However, every member of the National Guard Hall had a special connection. Before Xiaocheng died, he had already sent the news back to the National Guard Hall. "Brother Gu, this matter has already passed. Why don't we just let it go?" "Your Majesty, I will deal with this matter." Seeing Gubai leave, Xiaomeng sighed deeply. However, between the National Guard Hall and Longao, he would definitely choose Gubai in the National Guard Hall, not Longao. No matter how great Longao's potential was, it was impossible for him to compare to a transformation realm martial artist and the entire National Guard Hall. Originally, under normal circumstances, all 20 of them were not allowed to leave the imperial family today. However, Longao did not want to continue staying in the imperial family. He looked at the city wall behind him and muttered to himself, "Gubai, I won't be tricked by you." Longao was not a fool. He naturally knew that Gubai was hostile towards him. After thinking about it, Longao could only think of one possibility. That was when he killed the 4 members of the National Guard Hall in the Thunder Forest. One of them was the Vice Hall Master, Xiaocheng. Longao was very afraid of Gubai. No matter what, Gubai was still the Hall Master of the National Guard Hall. He was also a transformation realm martial artist. If he kept thinking about him, he would be in big trouble. "Brother Long, I finally found you." Hearing someone call him, Longao turned around and happily said, "Quanggao, why are you here?" The person who came was none other than Quanggao, one of Longao's only friends. "Let's go. I have something to tell you." "Okay." Longao was very curious. He did not know why Domineering Blade was looking for him. Following which, the two of them found a secluded restaurant and ordered a table full of dishes. After drinking a few cups, they started chatting. Domineering cried, "Why are you looking for me?" He nodded and said arrogantly, "Brother Long, I didn't expect you to be ranked 70th on the 100 battle ranking. You're now famous in Tianzhou." Longao smiled and did not say anything. After all, in his opinion, 70th place on the 100 battle ranking list was not a big deal. It was not the 7th place on the 100 battle ranking list, or even the 1st place. "Brother Long, let's get down to business. This time, I came to find you for 3 things." "What 3 things?" "Brother Long, the first thing I want to tell you is that your family is safe and sound. It would be a lie to say that he was not moved. After all, Domineering Blade was only a friend if he could tell him that he was safe." Longao did not speak. Everything was in silence. "The second thing is that you are now 70th on the 100 battle ranking list, so you have to be careful everywhere. Not only do people want to challenge you and take your place on the 100 battle ranking list, but even those who are ranked in the top will also challenge you." He seemed to be a little surprised. Longao could not understand. Some people wanted to challenge him for a place on the 100 battle ranking list, but why would those who were ranked high on the 100 battle ranking list also want to challenge him? Domineering pride. "Why is that?" "Brother Long, your story has spread throughout the entire Tianzhou. From a genius to a good-for-nothing. You persevered for 10 years and finally rose up. In just a few months, you have reached the 70th place of the 100 battle ranking. How many people in the entire Tianzhou can achieve this? Domineering pride. Get to the point. Longao did not want to listen to flattery. Brother Long, because of your strong rise and the fact that you are ranked 70th on the 100 battle ranking list, those who are ranked higher than you want to challenge you and defeat you to show off their strength. So that was it. Longao was not worried at all. He said, I will deal with whatever comes my way. No matter who wants to challenge me, I will wait. Domineering pride was not surprised at all, because he knew Longao's character very well. Otherwise, Longao could not have successfully occupied 70th on the 100 battle ranking list in just a few months. Brother Long, the third thing is that I have received reliable news. The Long family of the 5th level in Star Cloud City said that you entered the Dragon Valley without permission and were recognized by the Dragon Egg to become a Dragon Warrior. So, Dragon Warrior? Hearing Domineering Pride's words, Longao was shocked. He was not a fool. Of course, he knew that this was not a joke. Entering the Dragon Valley without permission, being recognized by the Dragon Egg, and becoming a Dragon Warrior meant something. The Long family of the 5th level in Star Cloud City. Longao immediately understood the intentions of the 5th level Long family. Previously, he and Long Ming had obtained the Dragon Egg at the same time, but Long Ming and the Fire Dragon were both killed by him. How could the 5th level Long family and Longing be willing to accept this? But with his current strength and identity, Longing knew that it was impossible for him to kill him. In that case, he could only reveal that he was a Dragon Warrior. Then, he would not need to do anything. The reason was simple, because the Scarlet Fire Town had the Long family. Strictly speaking, it was because the Scarlet Fire Town had Longao. Long Yi's expression was extremely solemn as he said, Father, the Long family of Star Cloud City has already spread the news of Longao obtaining the Dragon Egg. This matter has already spread throughout the entire Tianzhou. I believe that not long after, the entire 9 provinces will know about it. At that time, it will definitely alarm the Long family of rank 3 and above. As Longao's father, Long Yi was very worried about his son's safety. The strength and background of a 3rd-rank Long clan was obvious, not to mention that they were just a 6th-rank, 9th-rank clan. Even if they were a 4th-rank clan, once such a thing happened, they would suffer a disaster. Long Yi could imagine what kind of danger his son would be in if this news spread to the Long family above rank 3. Star Cloud City. Long Yi hated the Long family of Star Cloud City, but he was powerless. No matter what, with the current strength of the Long family, they were no match for the Long family of Star Cloud City. Long Haosher waved his hand and said, You don't have to worry about this. I can tell you for sure that the Long family above rank 3 will not believe this. Father, why is that? Long Yi was very confused, but he would definitely choose to believe his father. It's very simple. The Long family above rank 3 will not believe that anyone can enter the Dragon Valley. According to legend, the entrance of the Dragon Valley in Tianwu continent is guarded by the rank 1 Long family. Not to mention others, even the disciples of the rank 2 and rank 3 Long family cannot enter casually. So that's how it is. Therefore, the Long family above rank 3 will not believe this at all. I'm just worried about what will happen to Ao or now that the Long family of Star Cloud City is so shameless. Long Yi nodded in agreement and said, The Long family of Star Cloud City is a rank 5 Long family. If they want to deal with Ao will be in danger. Father, what should we do now? I've already thought about it. Ao's strong rise recently has offended too many people. If this continues, it will be very troublesome. After thinking for a while, Long Haosher continued, Immediately send a message to Ao. No matter what happens, you must summon Ao back. Got it. Long Yi obviously knew the seriousness of the matter. He did not dare to be careless and immediately turned to leave. Thunder Royal family, in a small forest behind the mountain. Long Ao's group of 20 had just entered the Thunder battlefield when they were immediately looked down upon and isolated. The Thunder Royal family, Long family, Zhang family, and Duanmu family, a total of 19 people, all distanced themselves from Long Ao and coldly looked at the youth in front of them. Fusion martial artist. Almost all 19 people knew about Longao's matters. But even so, in their eyes, Longao was not even a fart. This was not only in terms of strength, but also in terms of status. Both sides were not on the same level. Longao, who do you think you are? With just you, do you think we can rely on you? F***ck Himph. I was wondering why the royal family would choose a piece of trash to participate in the war between the two countries. Now I finally know that trash knows how to flatter. Admirable, admirable. Ha ha ha. Flatter? You are all wrong. Flattering is actually a skill. Hearing everyone's mocking words, Longao only sneered and suddenly said, "It doesn't matter if I am trash, but some people are even worse than trash. Otherwise, the Thunder Empire would have lost a total of 3 wars between the two countries." Sigh, I really feel bad for the Thunder Empire. I really want to ask, what's the point of the Thunder Empire raising trash like you? Among the 19 people, Fire Wolf, who had the highest strength and status, was enraged. He said furiously, "Longao, who do you think you are? How dare you say that to us? Are you courting death?" Courting death? Ha ha ha, Longao, you don't have to be like this. Do you mean that in this war between the two countries, you will live to be the final victor? Longao said confidently, "That's right. I am stronger than some trash who are even worse than trash. So, in this war between the two countries, I will live to be the final victor." What if you can't do it? What if I can do it? Longao's face was filled with contempt, and his voice was filled with disdain. Chapter 123. Hearing Longao's words, everyone burst into laughter. It was as if they had heard the funniest joke in the world. "Longao, let's make a bet. Do you dare?" Hualang's face was full of ridicule. In his opinion, a fusion realm cultivator would be killed in a single move in this kind of battle, borrowing a knife to kill. The 19 of them knew that no matter what, Longao was still the representative of the Thunder Empire. If they killed him, they would be letting down the empire. It was because of this that Hualang thought of this move. "Sure, but I'm afraid you won't dare." "All right, if you lose this battle between the two empires and come back alive, kneel in front of us and tell the world that you're trash." "What if I win?" "You'll win?" Waving his hand to stop the people behind him, Hualang said with a sinister smile, "If you win, the 19 of us will also kneel in front of you and tell the world that we're trash. How about it?" "Deal. As an author, I hope that you can fulfill the bet at that time." Without even thinking, Longao had already agreed. He turned around and quickly left. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared without a trace. "Boss, are we just going to let him go like this?" "Shut up. No matter what, he's still the representative of the Empire. We can't do it ourselves. But if the envoy of the Fire Empire kills him, it's none of our business." "Boss, what if he—" Before this person could finish, Hualang's body emitted a cold aura that suppressed the sky, scaring this person into shutting up immediately. A mere fusion realm cultivator thinks he's invincible just because he's a little lucky. I want to see how he can defeat the envoy of the Fire Empire. After leaving, Longao didn't take this matter to heart. In his opinion, the 19 of them were just stones. Although they were blocking his path, it wasn't a big deal. Actually, in Longao's heart, he did not hate the 19 people very much. No matter what, the 19 people were not so shameless as to join hands to deal with him. Just based on this point alone, the 19 people were still considered qualified warriors. Thunder Battlefield. The Thunder Empire's battlefield wasn't very large. It was because of this that Longao met the emissaries of the Flame Empire. He didn't know if he was lucky or not, but the first person he met was Ice Spirit, who ranked in the top 5 among the 20 emissaries of the Flame Empire. She was a warrior at the Unification Realm and ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking list in Tianzhou. The war between the two countries, the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire, had made it clear that once they entered the battlefield, they had to scatter and not engage in a chaotic battle. The 40 people from the Fire Empire and Thunder Empire who were participating in the battle of the two empires were all Unification Realm martial artists. Due to the arrogance of experts, everyone was scattered. Even if they met, they would not fight with more people. Longao was very satisfied with the agreement between the two countries and the pride of the cultivators. Longao? Longao? Longao was surprised when he heard the other party call out his name. However, after giving it some thought, he understood. After all, before entering the battlefield, both sides must have learned about the other side's 20 members. Even he was no exception. Bing Puer, the super genius of the Bing family of the Fire Empire, had reached the unification realm at the age of 28 and was ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking in Tianzhou. Longao had never figured out the 100 battle ranking. The 100 battle ranking. There were 900 battle rankings in the Tianwu continent. Every province had 100 battle ranking. Young martial artists under the age of 40 could enter the 100 battle ranking. However, those who entered the 100 battle ranking were all talented people. Bing Pe was only a disciple of the Bing family of the Fire Empire, but she could be ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking. What about the disciples of the six sects? Longao knew very well that the six sects were above the two empires. He believed that the disciples of the six sects were far stronger than those of the two empires and countless kingdoms. In that case, why were there no disciples of the six sects on the 100 battle ranking? In the end, Longao finally knew that the disciples of the six sects did not participate in the 100 battle ranking at all. The six sects were the supreme existence in the Tianzhou. There were many talented disciples in the six sects, and the cultivation resources they received were far more than those of the secular world. Therefore, the disciples of the six sects did not pursue the 100 battle ranking, but another ranking, the Fengyun list. There were 900 battle rankings in the 9 prefectures. There were also 900 battle rankings in the 9 prefectures. The Fengyun list was the same as the 100 battle ranking, but there were some differences. The disciples of the six sects could not pursue the 100 battle ranking, but everyone could pursue the Fengyun list, even the secular disciples. That was to say, if someone entered the top 10 of the 100 battle ranking, he would automatically enter the Fengyun list. Once a secular disciple entered the Fengyun list, he would immediately become the target of the six sects. Are you Bing Puer, a disciple of the Bing family of the Fire Empire? Longao had a general understanding of the 20 emissaries of the Flame Empire, especially 2 of them. Ice Spirit was one of them. She was only 28 years old, but she was already in the top 20 of the 100 battle ranking. Longao, the top genius of the Red Fire Town 10 years ago, failed to break through the realm and was reduced from a genius to a waste. For 10 years, he was ridiculed, and looked down upon, but he still persisted and did not give up. For some unknown reason, he suddenly rose and attacked aggressively. Longao, I really want to know, why did you suddenly succeed after 10 years of failure? Ice Spirit was not very beautiful. From a distance, she looked like a man with a crew cut and a tall and burly figure. You don't need to care about my business. If you want to fight, we will fight. If not, you can leave. It was undeniable that Longao was really domineering. Even if his opponent was a warrior of the consolidation realm, a figure in the top 20 of the 100 battle ranking, he was still fearless. Nodding with appreciation, Ice Spirit said coldly, You and I have different masters. Since we have chosen to represent our respective empires, we will fight. But Longao, if I win, I want to be friends with you. But if you win, you can not only replace my position in the 100 battle ranking, but also choose to be friends with me. Longao was very surprised by Ice Spirit's words. What an interesting woman. Because of this, Longao had a good impression of this genius woman in front of him. Nodding, Longao said, You and I will fight. No matter who wins or loses, I will definitely be friends with you. Please. Both Ice Spirit and Longao belonged to the ranks of real warriors. No matter how much appreciation they had for each other, once the fight started, their fighting intent instantly spread out. In mid-air, they fiercely collided with each other. Sparks flew in all directions. Longao, in order to avoid hurting each other, let's fight barehanded. What do you think? No problem. In this way, the two stared at each other. In the next second, their bodies moved at the same time. Their speed was incomparably fast. In the blink of an eye, the two were already fighting. In the blink of an eye, they had already fought for 3 rounds. There was no clear winner. Chapter 124. 3 moves, a draw. Ice Spirit was very surprised because she never thought that Longao would be able to withstand 3 of her moves. As soon as she entered the Thunder Imperial family, Ice Spirit learned everything about the 20 emissaries of the Thunder Empire. Among them, she was most interested in Longao. Everything that happened on Longao's body was truly somewhat inconceivable. But even so, Ice Spirit was still confident that she could defeat her opponent easily with her strength. 3 moves was a little too much. Ice Spirit stopped underestimating him. She didn't dare to be careless and used the Ice Spirit Meteorite Explosion. As a super powerful martial technique of the Ice family, the icicles exploded immediately. As for Longao, he did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. No matter what, the opponent was a Consolidation Realm warrior and a super powerful figure ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking. Once he relaxed a little, he believed that he would be defeated. The 8 styles of blood drinking, the first style, 9 consecutive strikes of the underworld, the second style, heart-devouring ice, and the third style, sea of flames, were all superimposed in an instant. The powerful fist strength was like the waves of the sea, each stronger than the last. It rolled and pressed down overwhelmingly. Bang! Both of their fists collided. Both of them groaned at the same time and retreated. Both of them retreated 10 steps before they stopped abruptly. This time, Ice Spirit was completely shocked. As a Consolidation Realm warrior and ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking, she actually fought to a draw with a Consolidation Realm warrior. If she didn't experience it herself, she wouldn't believe it even if she was beaten to death. Longao, although I don't want to admit it, I have to admit that your strength is really strong. I can say that as long as your cultivation can enter the Consolidation Realm, you can easily dominate the Primordial Realm. Dominate the Primordial Realm? Easy. As a Consolidation Realm warrior and ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking, Ice Spirit's words carried a lot of weight. Longao, let's end this quickly. As long as you can use my Ice Spirit 10,000 waves, it's my loss. Longao nodded. Of course, he knew what Ice Spirit meant. No matter what, they were now in the middle of the battle for supremacy. If the battle dragged on and they encountered other martial artists, no matter who they were, it would be very troublesome. The Ice Soul 10,000 Heavy Waves was the highest level martial skill of the Bing clan. It was above the Ice Soul martial skill and could be considered the strongest martial skill that the Ice Soul could use. Ice Spirit knew very well that if she couldn't defeat her opponent with her Ice Spirit 9 strikes, then it would be obvious who would win this battle. Just like that, the two of them started moving again. The Ice Spirit's 9 consecutive strikes gathered all the energy in her body into her hands. Each palm was stronger than the last. With the 9 palms stacked together, the power kept increasing. It was the same principle as Longao's Yellow Spring's 9 consecutive strikes. Longao didn't hold back either. He knew very well that if he didn't use his full strength, it would be disrespectful to Ice Spirit. Not only was it disrespectful to a cultivator, but it was also disrespectful to a friend. It was precisely because of this that Longao had already used the Soul Suppressing Seal before making his move. The Soul Suppressing Seal, which never missed, silently entered Ice Spirit's body and started to corrode her soul. Greatly shocked, the Ice Spirit's Ice Spirit 9 consecutive strikes was forcefully interrupted and its power was directly reduced by half. Seizing this rare opportunity, Longao's body shot out from the left at an unbelievable angle. Before he arrived, the terrifying fist energy arrived first. However, Longao's fists stopped when they were a few centimeters away from Ice Spirit. He retracted his fists and retreated. The winner of this battle had already been decided. Ice Spirit, who had forcefully removed the energy in her body, seemed to be unable to accept this fact. However, she still nodded and said, "Longao, you have won. However, I still want to be friends with you. Are you willing?" "No problem." They extended their hands and shook hands. However, at this moment, footsteps came from not far away. The two of them nodded at the same time and walked to the right at the same time. As soon as the two of them disappeared, a middle-aged man with a terrifying appearance walked over. Seeing this person, Longao seemed to be surprised. This person was none other than Long Jing, who Long Ili had asked him to kill. He was a Unification Realm warrior, one of the experts of the Long family and one of the envoys of the Thunder Empire. No matter if it was the 20 people from the Fire Empire or the Thunder Empire, they all acted alone. After all, if they obtained more soul tokens, they could become famous in both empires and even the entire Tianzhou. Brother Long, you know this person? Longao nodded. He had a good impression of Ice Spirit and told her about what had happened between him and Long Eli. After listening, Ice Spirit smiled and said, killing a Unification Realm warrior for a 10,000-year blood Lingji. Brother Long, you have suffered a great loss. Longao only smiled and didn't say anything. Brother Long, forgive me for being blunt, but under these circumstances, it seems inappropriate for you to kill Long Jing. Nodding, Longao said, I already know Long Jing's character, so I will enforce justice on behalf of the heavens. If the Thunder Empire and the Long family pursue this matter, what will you do? Before Longao could speak, Ice Spirit continued, Brother Long, how about I kill this person for you? That won't do. Brother Long, listen to me first. Between friends, don't be so calculative unless you don't treat me as a friend. Looking deeply at Ice Spirit beside him, Longao finally nodded. In fact, it was indeed inappropriate for him to do this. At that time, he had already understood Long Jing. If this person was good, he would have returned the 10,000-year blood Lingji to Long Eli. However, the result was that Long Jing was indeed not a good person. Him doing this could be considered enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens. Before Longao could react, Ice Spirit's body had already scurried out. Who? Seeing the woman who suddenly appeared, Long Jing was startled at first, but then he sneered, so it's Miss Ice Spirit. It seems that my luck is not bad this time. Long Jing, cut the crap. Do you want to kill yourself, or do you want me to do it? Ha ha ha. Hearing Ice Spirit's words, Long Jing suddenly laughed as if he had heard the funniest thing in the world. My plucking een to replenish yang has not been used for a long time. Ice Spirit, your strength is not bad. If I pluck your een, my strength may increase greatly. Ice Spirit, if you are willing to give it to me, I can spare your life. Despicable. Despicable? Long Jing was the most sinister person in the Long family. He cultivated the plucking een to replenish yang technique, which was extremely vicious. In fact, this kind of martial skill was used to benefit others and oneself. Once it was used wrongly, it would become harming others to benefit oneself. Ice Spirit, a wise man submits to circumstances. I hope you can be smart. Actually, don't you women like this kind of thing? Don't worry, I will make you very comfortable. Ha 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 ha. Shameless, despicable. Ice Spirit's body instantly rushed out. Her face was extremely gloomy and ugly. After all, as a genius disciple of the Bing family, when had she ever been talked to like this? Long Jing was already over 40 years old. Therefore, even if his cultivation had broken through to the consolidation realm, he could not enter the 100 battle ranking. However, this did not mean that Long Jing's strength was not strong. Otherwise, he would not be so confident. Although Long Jing had played a little trick and won against Ice Spirit in one move, from another perspective, it also showed that Long Jing's strength far surpassed Ice Spirit. It was impossible for a fusion warrior to play tricks even if he wanted to. The wild draw blade, one slash after another, continuous and endless. With a sneer, Long Jing was full of confidence. It seemed very easy for him to counter every move. However, as the battle continued to escalate, Long Jing also began to slowly discover that the other party's strength had exceeded his understanding. He gradually began to go all out, and there were a few times when he was almost killed. A dragon's roar sounded. Just as Long Jing was going all out, Long Chang's huge body had already appeared, and a dragon's roar resounded through the world. Everyone who was fighting or looking for each other all raised their heads and looked in the same direction. Everyone's expression was abnormally shocked. After all, everyone knew very well what the dragon's roar meant. The most shocked were Ice Spirit and Long Jing. Both Ice Spirit and Long Jing knew very well what it meant for Longao to have a dragon as a companion. Dragon warrior, the strongest existence in the Long family. However, to become a dragon warrior was not an easy task. At the very least, one had to be a disciple of a third-rank family. Just this point alone was enough to exclude many people. Longao, you can't be a dragon warrior. It's impossible. Longjing was so shocked that he was almost killed. While dodging, he continued to roar crazily. This was what it meant to be infuriated. The other party was just a low-level disciple of the Long family, but he had already become a dragon warrior. What about him? Humans were like this. Once their state of mind changed, their fighting strength would be greatly reduced. It was precisely because of this that Longao did not give up on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Longchang's strength far surpassed Longao's. Just imagine, if Longao and Longchang were to join forces, how powerful would they be? After the dragon's roar, Longchang also launched his most ferocious attack on Longjing. Clenching her fists tightly, Ice Spirit looked at the young man who was forcing Longjing to retreat step by step. Her heart was incomparably shocked. Now, she seemed to have understood why Longao would suddenly rise. Dragon warrior, the strongest existence in the Long family. Longao and Longchang did not hold back at all. One on the left and one on the right, they attacked left and right. Just like this, Longjing was forced to retreat. Even so, he was still injured by Longao and Longchang's attacks. He could be killed at any time. The more he fought, the more his state of mind became. Longjing naturally did not dare to continue staying. Longao, if you let me go this time, I'll teach you the gathering in replenishing yang technique. How about it? Teach your sister. Longao did not even bother to cultivate such an evil technique. Moreover, he had already decided to kill this person. It was precisely because of this that Longao did not hold back at all. Instead, the more he fought, the more vicious he became. Especially with the help of Longchang, one man and one dragon could be said to be very fierce. Every move was vicious and fatal. Longao, without giving Longjing any chance to speak, Longao and Longchang used their most powerful joint attack. Longjing's mind was already in a mess. It was impossible for him to resist the joint attack of Longao and Longchang. Poochie. After being attacked by Longao and Longchang, Longjing's body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Longao, of course, would not miss this opportunity. His body rushed up and came to Longjing's corpse. He immediately took out the soul order from Longjing's body. Just as he was about to seize Longjing's soul, Longao was shocked. He did not even bother to seize it. He turned around and rushed out with Ice Spirit. Just as the two of them left, many figures shot out from all directions. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 people had all arrived by Longjing's side. Among them was Hualang. Looking at the corpse on the ground, Hualang's expression was unsightly to the extreme. They had just entered the battlefield, and it had not even been 2 hours since they started, yet they had already lost a person. The situation of the battle seemed to be somewhat disadvantageous for them. Long roar. I did not expect the Fire Empire to have a dragon martial artist. Chapter 126. Hualang's meaning was clear. Everyone knew what a martial artist of the Dragon Realm meant. Because of this, the envoy from the Thunder Empire did not expect that the Fire Empire would send a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. Martial artist of the Dragon Realm? The people from the Fire Empire looked at each other. One of them said, if our Fire Empire had a martial artist of the Dragon Realm, we would have dominated Tianzhou long ago. Humph, Hualang snorted. Of course, he did not believe the other party's words. Just like that, both sides stared at each other. Suddenly, both sides started a huge battle royale. This was the first time such a battle royale had happened in the countless battles between the two empires. At a certain place in the battlegrounds. Brother Long, I did not expect you to be a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. Ice Spirit found it hard to believe that Longao was a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. After all, martial artists of the Dragon Realm could only be found in the Dragon Realm. But what about Longao's family? It was only a rank 6 Long family. Since things had already reached this point, Longao did not continue to hide it. That's right, I am a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. But this cannot be leaked. Ice Spirit was not a fool. She immediately understood the reason. It seemed that Longao's dragon companion was a little strange. Longao did not continue speaking. Ice Spirit did not ask further either. She knew what to ask and what not to ask. Ice Spirit, thank you very much. There's no need to be so polite between friends. Ice Soul, you're actually colluding with the Thunder Empire? You're really something. At this time, a youth walked out from behind a tree. He was around 27 or 28 years old. His face was cold and he had a full beard. Seeing the sudden appearance of the cold-looking young man, the Ice Soul's expression changed. She said, Yi Dao, don't slander me. I only became friends with Brother Long. As for the other people from the Thunder Empire, I will still kill them if I see them. Yi Dao? Longao was familiar with the name Yi Dao. Yi Dao was ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking. He was at the peak of the consolidation realm. Longao knew that Yi Dao was the strongest of the 20 unification realm martial artists that the Flame Empire had sent out. Ha ha ha, Ice Spirit, you don't need to quibble here. If it were any other time, it wouldn't be a problem for you to make friends with anyone. But now, you've betrayed the Fire Empire and you still dare to quibble here. Shaking his head, Yi Dao's meaning was very clear. You are a traitor, and there is no point in quibbling. Yi Dao? It's none of your business whether I'm friends with Ice Spirit or not. Are you Longao? So what if I am? So what if I'm not? Yi Dao didn't mind. Chapter 127. Shocking Blade Aura. Kacha. Yi Dao was instantly killed by the Shocking Blade Aura. Longao did not hesitate. Not only did he store the soul into the Dragon Seal space, he even sent the corpse into the Dragon Seal space. Master, with your current strength, the 3 soul slaves are of little help to you. Longao was very puzzled. He did not know what Long Fu meant. Master, I am preparing to merge the 3 soul slaves and this soul with the corpse. I believe that the refined corpse slave will be able to reach the transformation realm. Hearing this, Longao was delighted. He clearly knew what it meant to reach the transformation realm. Longao was naturally clear of the meaning behind Long Fu's actions. It was nothing more than wanting to help him refine a powerful corpse slave so that he could oversee the Long family. Longao was even more clear that with his current strength, the 3 soul slaves were indeed useless. If he continued to keep them, it would be a waste. In that case, he might as well merge with Yi Dao's corpse and refine a transformed corpse slave. Long Fu, everything depends on you. Master, rest assured. The moment he spoke to Long Fu, several figures had already rushed out. Among them were the envoys of the Flame Empire and the Thunder Empire. They looked at the corpse that had just disappeared and their faces were filled with shock. Longao, hand over Yi Dao's corpse. Completely ignoring the words of the envoys of the Flame Empire, Longao coldly snorted and said, I fought with him. Since I lost, I have to accept it. The faces of the envoys of the Flame Empire were gloomy to the extreme. If it was before, they would not hesitate to attack. But now, even the strongest Yi Dao was killed. Who among the 40 people in the battle of hegemony between the 2 countries could defeat this person? A fusion warrior killed Yi Dao? Yi Dao was an extraordinary figure ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking. He was a peak consolidation realm warrior. Not to mention a mere fusion warrior. Even a consolidation realm warrior would not be able to kill Yi Dao. It was precisely because of this that the people from the Flame Empire could only be angry, but they didn't dare to say anything. They all glared at Longao, and in the end, they all left. Firewolf was also shocked to the extreme because Longao had killed Yi Dao and entered the 11th place of the 100 battle ranking. What kind of concept was this? A fusion warrior ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking list, which was unprecedented and would never happen again. Longao. Waving his hand, Longao did not give Firewolf a chance to speak. Instead, he said coldly, Firewolf, don't provoke me. Otherwise, even if you are an envoy of the Thunder Empire, I will still kill you. If Longao dared to say this in the past, he would definitely be mocked and scoffed at by the crowd. But in the current situation, who would dare to say anything? But one had to know that Longao's cultivation had just broken through to the fusion realm. If his cultivation could break through to the consolidation realm, then what realm would his strength reach? It was precisely because of this that Longao cultivated the Inferno Seal while cultivating. Unknowingly, 3 days had passed quietly. The hegemony battles between the two countries had ended. In the end, the Thunder Empire won. After all, Yi Dao was killed. Among the 40 people, Firewolf could almost be called the king. It was precisely because of this that the Thunder Imperial family was extremely excited. A total of 12 people from the Fire Empire were killed and left dejectedly. In the main hall, Firewolf and the others did not dare to say anything. Although Longao was only in the fusion realm, he was able to kill Yi Dao. Just this point alone, who would dare to provoke a killing god? A madman? Among them, the one who was most shocked was Gu Bai. This was because he never expected that Longao could kill Yi Dao in the fusion realm and be ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking. What kind of concept was this? He thought that Longao would die on the battlefield, but now? It was precisely because of this that after knowing that Longao killed Yi Dao, Zhao Meng immediately ordered to vigorously support the construction of the Scarlet Fire Town. Chapter 128. Longao, how about joining the Thunder National Guard Hall? Longao snorted in his heart. Of course, he knew that Gu Bai was hostile to him. If he joined the National Guard Hall, wouldn't he be asking for trouble? Your Majesty, I'm used to being free, so I want to continue being free. Although Longao didn't directly refuse, the meaning in his words was clear. It was precisely because of this that everyone was shocked when they heard Longao refuse on the spot. Zhao Meng forced a smile, nodded and said, "It's good to be free. Longao, I just received news from Chihua Town that your father is urgently summoning you back." Father is urgently summoning me back? He was puzzled because he knew that his father wouldn't be in a hurry to summon him back if there wasn't something important happening in the family. Because of this, Longao immediately left the Imperial family and headed towards Chihua Town. Thunder Imperial family, in the backyard pavilion. Brother Gu, Longao's talent and potential are there for all to see. He was able to kill Yi Dao in the fusion realm and take his place in the 100 battle ranking. If we can make use of him, we may get a master. Gu Bai nodded. How could he not know what Zhao Meng meant? Your Majesty, I didn't expect Longao to be so powerful. If there are no accidents, I believe that with his current strength, he will be invincible among the innate experts. Zhao Meng was surprised. He had never heard Gu Bai praise anyone. It seemed that this person was indeed not simple. After thinking for a while, Gu Bai continued, Your Majesty, this person's talent is extraordinary. If we can't kill him, we must try our best to rope him in. If we can't let him develop, the consequences will be unimaginable. Chihua Town. Since the news of Longao killing Yi Dao spread, the status of Chihua Town immediately rose. Even the Thunder Imperial family announced to the world that they would fully support the construction of Chihua Town. Ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking, Longao had become a famous figure in Tianzhou. For a moment, Longao's limelight even overshadowed everyone. Not to mention the Thunder Empire and countless kingdoms. Even in the Flame Empire, Longao was a hot topic. Chihua Town, Long family. As soon as Longao stepped into the Long family, the entire Long family was in an uproar. One by one, they appeared in high spirits. Just as he returned to the Long family, the first good news that Longao received was that his grandfather, Long Haosher, and his big brother, Long Ying, had both broken through to the 100 scatter heaven. In other words, from this moment onwards, apart from Longao, the Long family already had 200 scatter heaven martial artists holding down the fort. Long family, main hall. I've already told you everything. What are you going to do? Grandpa, this matter only depends on the Nebula Dragon family's side of the story. I believe that the Long family won't believe it at all, so we don't have to worry at all. How could Longao not know the intentions of the Nebula Long family? However, he wasn't too worried. After all, the Long family wasn't a fool. They wouldn't go through so much trouble just because of the Nebula Long family's words. Longao was very confident about this. Longao sure seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he only sighed deeply and didn't say anything. Grandpa, this time, you and Big Brother's cultivation has broken through to the 100 scatter heaven realm. You must continue to work hard. In a while, I'll help you refine spirit gathering pills and help you break through to the one-line heaven realm in one fell swoop. Without waiting for Long Haosher to say anything, Longao continued, Grandpa, Dad, I'm often not in the Long family, so it's inevitable that I have some enemies. Therefore, I'm preparing to leave behind a super expert for the family. I believe that with him holding down the fort, ordinary forces, even the Thunder Empire, wouldn't dare to provoke our Long family. Hearing this, whether it was Long Haosher or Long Yi, they were both surprised. Super expert? The two of them were very clear about Long Ao's current strength. To be able to be called a super expert by Long Ao, it was obvious how strong this person was. Long Ao smiled and summoned Yi Dao's corpse from the Dragon Seal space. The 5 stages of transformation, from lowest to highest, are Lightning Tribulation, Transformation, Human King, Earthly Sovereign, and Tao Ancestor. According to what Long Fu said, the current corpse is equivalent to a Lightning Tribulation realm martial artist. Because it's a corpse, it doesn't need to undergo Lightning Tribulation. When the corpse was summoned, a terrifying aura enveloped the entire Long family. If it wasn't for Long Ao stopping it in time, the powerful aura emitted by the corpse would be enough to crush everyone in the hall. Looking at the corpse that appeared in front of them, Long Haosher and Long Yi felt a chill. It's too powerful. The two of them felt that they didn't even have the chance to fight back in front of this person. A corpse is no different from a soul slave. A soul slave is refined by the soul, so its strength is much stronger than the main body. However, a corpse is different. It's very difficult to refine. Aside from relying on the corpse, it also needs to fuse with the soul. However, a corpse has one advantage, which is that it can leave the Dragon Seal space and appear on its own. A soul slave can't. Grandpa, Dad, I have something to tell you. However, you can't let others know about this. Seeing Long Ao's serious tone, Long Haosher and Long Yi both nodded. 2 hours later, Long Haosher arranged for the corpse to be in the Long family. It's the Long family's secret weapon. He believes that even if a transformation realm cultivator comes, the Long family will still have the ability to protect themselves. Long Ying, Long Shi, Long Ming, Long En, Long Qianqian, Long Zheng, Long Feng, Long Yi, Long Feng and the others were all looking at Long Ao with excitement. Because Long Ao is now the pride of the Long family. 7th brother, why are you looking for us? In the 3rd generation of the Long family, Long Ying was supposed to be the #1 genius. However, ever since Long Ao's strong rise, the title of #1 genius fell on Long Ao's head. Even so, Long Ying didn't have the slightest bit of envy. After all, the height that Long Ao is standing now isn't something that they can touch. Big brother, the reason I've asked you all to come here is because of your cultivation. This time, I'll be staying here for a period of time. During this period of time, I'll help you all concoct some pills and help you all break through. I hope that within a month, all of you will be able to increase your cultivation by 3 levels. 7th brother, don't joke with us. Our little hearts can't take it. That's right. 7th brother, how is it possible to raise your cultivation by 3 ranks in a month? No one believed it. After all, to raise one's cultivation by 3 ranks in a month, is it possible to do it? Long Ao only smiled and said, everyone, believe me. 1 month later, I'll give you a surprise. Long Ying looked deeply at Long Ao, nodded and said, 7th brother, I believe you. Long Ying was very clear in his heart that his current cultivation has already reached the 100 scattering heaven. If he continuously broke through 3 ranks, wouldn't he be able to reach the so-called one-line sky peak? This was something that he didn't even dare to think about. Chapter 129. In the following period of time, Long Ao did not leave the family. wholeheartedly helping everyone to improve their strength. In the courtyard, Longao guarded his origin, absorbing the power from the dragon seal space. He tried to force all the power in his body into his dantian, forming a state of endless circulation. The 5 Xiantian realms, from low to high, were the 100 scattered sky realm, one-line sky realm, evolution realm, fusion realm, and consolidation realm. Consolidation realm. In order to break through from the fusion realm to the consolidation realm, one had to force all the power into the dantian, gather it into a point, and then form a state of endless circulation. This seemed simple, but it was actually extremely difficult. At this moment, all the power in Longao's body had gathered in his dantian, and gathered at a point, forming a state of endless circulation. Slowly opening his eyes, Longao's face revealed a trace of surprise. Consolidation realm. In 10 days, he had finally broken through to the consolidation realm. Longao knew very well that although the fusion realm and the consolidation realm were only one realm apart, the difference in strength was huge and could not be compared. Consolidation realm. Next, it was time to work hard towards the transformation realm. Above the Xiantian realm was the transformation realm, which was divided into 5 realms. From low to high, they were the lightning tribulation realm, transformation realm, human king realm, earth emperor realm, and Tao ancestor realm. Lightning tribulation. Longao knew very well that as long as he could sense his lightning tribulation, once he successfully passed it, he would truly break through to the Xiantian realm and reach the transformation realm. However, Longao was also a little worried, because he had already learned that many consolidation realm warriors had failed to pass their lightning tribulation, and the success rate was less than 30%. Just as he stood up, Longao stretched his back, and the door of the courtyard was opened. He seemed to be angry, because Longao had already instructed that no one was allowed to disturb him when he was cultivating in seclusion. With Longao's current status in the Long family, who would dare to disturb his cultivation? Grandfather. What's the matter? Seeing his grandfather enter, Longao's anger instantly disappeared. But at this moment, Longao seemed to be a little anxious and said, "Ao, I have something to talk to you about." Longao became even more curious. He didn't know why his grandfather was looking for him. A day ago, news came from the Scarlet Mountain Range, saying that someone found an injured Qilin on the Scarlet Mountain Range. Qilin? Longao exclaimed. Of course, Longao was no stranger to the Qilin that his grandfather had mentioned. Qilins were like dragons. They were one of the strongest races in the Martial Heaven continent. However, the Qilins had a fatal weakness. They only had 1,000th of the dragon race, or even a 10,000th of it. Because of this, Qilins were very rare in the Sky Martial continent. Grandpa, the strength of the Qilin goes without saying. Even if the Qilin is injured, it is not something that ordinary people can get close to. Could it be that someone has already gone to the Scarlet Volcano? Nodding his head, Longao said, "Ao, Qilin has already attracted the attention of everyone. I have received reliable news that the kingdoms from all directions, including the Thunder Kingdom, the Star Cloud Kingdom, the Flame Kingdom, and even the people from the 6 great sects, are all rushing towards the Scarlet Volcano. Thunder Empire, Inferno Empire, Star Cloud Kingdom, 6 great sects." Longao didn't feel the slightest bit of shock. After all, an injured Qilin was extremely enticing. Now Longao was only curious about one thing. How had this powerful Qilin been injured? Just who had injured it? Without a doubt, the person who had injured the Qilin was definitely an expert amongst experts. Ao, this time I came to tell you this. However, no matter what happens, you are not allowed to go to the Scarlet Volcano. Do you understand? How could Longao not know his grandfather's worries? Smiling, he said, "Grandpa, don't worry. I'm just going to take a look and see some old friends." Longao deeply glanced at his grandson. He was very clear about Ao's character, so he didn't say anything. Once Longao left, Longao was a bit worried. He directly left his courtyard and went to the Scarlet Volcano. The Scarlet Volcano was Longao's favorite place since he was young. He vaguely remembered that 10 years ago, he had fallen from a genius to a trash. He was bullied and ridiculed, but he still didn't give up. He persisted for 10 years and came to the Scarlet Volcano every day to cultivate. Because of this, Longao had a lot of feelings for the Scarlet Volcano. At this moment, the Scarlet Volcano could be said to be extremely lively. It was packed with people and could be attacked at any time. Therefore, Longao didn't rush up the mountain. Instead, he took a shortcut. The shortcut of the Scarlet Volcano was probably only known to Longao alone. The temptation of the Qilin being injured caused the entire Tianzhou to boil. The 6 great sects, 2 great empires, and countless kingdoms all flocked over. Everyone wanted to get the Qilin. If they could get the Qilin's approval, then becoming an overlord wouldn't be a difficult thing. Somewhere in the Scarlet Volcano. Aoshue, are you thinking about him again? Ghost King Ao Tian shook his head helplessly. Every time he saw his daughter like this, his heart would ache, but there was nothing he could do. Aoshue smiled and didn't answer. Instead, she said, Father, didn't you say that there was an injured Qilin in the Scarlet Volcano? We've been here for an entire day. Why haven't we found the Qilin yet? At the mention of the Qilin, Ao Tian immediately became spirited. He said, the Qilin is incomparably powerful. Even if it's injured, I believe that it's not something an ordinary person can deal with. Moreover, the Qilin isn't an idiot. It must know its situation. That's why it's still at the Scarlet Volcano. It's just hiding. Father, the people from the other 5 great sects have all gathered at the Scarlet Volcano. If they find the Qilin at the same time, wouldn't a big battle be inevitable? Nodding, Ao Tian suddenly smiled and said, Aoshue, I believe you know what a Qilin means. Otherwise, the 5 great sects wouldn't all come. Without saying anything else, Aoshue pouted. No one knew what she was mumbling. Longao, who had successfully ascended the mountain, didn't provoke the people from the 5 great sects. Instead, he searched everywhere for traces of the Qilin. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't tempted by the Qilin's injury. Longao knew very well that if he could obtain the Qilin's soul, once it was refined by Long Fu, he believed that it wouldn't be difficult for him and Long Chong to break through the transformation realm with the help of this power. The sacred desolation physique, and 2 of them at that, required a terrifying amount of power. It was also because of this that Longao came to try his luck. Tang Lin? Looking at the people resting in the distance, Longao's face didn't look too good. This was because he looked down on this person in the Star Cloud Kingdom. Longao looked down on them. Chapter 130. Overestimating himself. This time, the temptation of Qilin's injury attracted the 6 major sects and 2 empires. How big of a wave could a small Star Cloud Kingdom cause? Tang Lin, Hao Chao, Yang Yi, and the rest sat down to rest. Hall Master, I've always been unconvinced. Why do we have to tolerate Longao? He's just a piece of trash who got lucky. Yang Yi was filled with killing intent towards Longao. If it wasn't for Tang Lin, Yang Yi would have already killed his way to Scarlet Fire Town. Hao Chao's expression didn't look too good, but he endured it in the end. No matter what, he was still a member of the National Guard Hall. With the Hall Master and Vice Hall Master present, he had no right to speak. Brother Yang, Longao's situation is a bit special. Hall Master, Scarlet Fire Town originally belonged to our Star Cloud Kingdom, but what about now? Longao killed Yue and Luo Cheng. This is not putting our National Guard Hall in his eyes. Are we just going to sit by and do nothing? Without giving Tang Lin any chance to speak, Yang Yi continued, I don't care. If the National Guard Hall still tolerates Longao, I will withdraw from the National Guard Hall. Vice Hall Master, your words are wrong. Hearing Hao Chao's sudden interruption, Yang Yi's expression turned cold. Hao Chao, what do you mean? Vice Hall Master, when Longao first entered the National Guard Hall, he did his best, but Luo Cheng kept on causing trouble. If it was someone else, they would have attacked long ago. But Brother Long kept on tolerating. In the end, Luo Cheng killed Luo Cheng. Yang Yi only snorted and didn't say anything. Hao Chao continued, the kingdom abandoned Brother Long twice. Let me ask you, if it was you, what would you do? Yang Yi was speechless. After all, This matter was indeed the fault of the Star Cloud Kingdom and the National Guard Hall. Longao didn't do anything wrong. However, Yang Yi and Tang Lin's expression was extremely cold. Hao Chao, are you saying that we did something wrong? That's right. I think we did something wrong. We should try our best to rope in Brother Long instead of thinking of ways to deal with him. So Hall Master and Vice Hall Master, please think twice before you act. Gotcha. Before Hao Chao could finish his words, Yang Yi had already made his move. A palm strike landed on Hao Chao's body, sending him flying. Poochie. Blood spurted out. Hao Chao's body fell heavily to the ground. He struggled to get up. His face was filled with disbelief. He never thought that Yang Yi would suddenly attack him. Hao Chao, you traitor. Do you think I don't know about the shameless things between you and Longao? As a member of the National Defender Hall, you actually helped an outsider kill a member of the National Defender Hall. That alone is enough to kill you. Tang Lin didn't say anything, but his meaning was very clear. The Nebula Protector Hall is a shameless place with shameless people. Now I know why Brother Long wants to leave. It would have been fine if Hao Chao hadn't mentioned Longao, but the moment he mentioned Longao, both Tang Lin and Yang Yi's faces turned even colder. Longao had completely separated the Scarlet Fire Town from the Nebula Imperial family and killed Luocheng and the others, causing the Nebula Imperial family and the Nebula National Protector Hall to lose face. Tang Lin and Zhao Meng did not say anything, but they were extremely unhappy. Presumptuous. Yang Yi's killing intent had already been triggered. His body shot out like an arrow. Before he arrived, his killing intent had already arrived. However, Yang Yi came back even faster. His body was like a kite with a broken string, making the most intimate contact with the ground. Seeing the sudden appearance of the black-clothed, white-haired youth, everyone was shocked, especially Tang Lin and the others. Brother-in-law, Longao had a good impression of Hao Chao as a friend. After all, Hao Chao dared to go against the Hall Master and the Vice Hall Master, which meant that Hao Chao had treated him as a friend. Longao was just like that. He could give his heart to his friends, but he would not show any mercy to his enemies. Cutting the weeds and eliminating the roots was his usual way of dealing with his enemies. Tang Lin, Yang Yi, you guys are really shameless. If you have any problems, come at me. There's no need to treat my friends as well. Yang Yi was defeated in a single move, and he was so scared that he took 3 steps back. Humph, Longao, you killed Luocheng and the others. You don't even put my National Guard Hall in your eyes. Moreover, you even separated the Scarlet Fire Town. Ask yourself, who are you? Not only Yang Yi, but even Tang Lin also felt that Longao was not someone they could deal with. After all, who in the Star Cloud Kingdom could fight against a lunatic who could kill Yi Dao? Because of this, whether it was Tang Lin, Yang Yi, or the others, they were all afraid of Longao. Tang Lin, Yang Yi, I have seen shameless people before, but I have never seen someone as shameless as you guys. Star Cloud Royal Family has abandoned me twice. I would like to ask, aren't the Star Cloud Royal Family and the National Guard Hall shameless? Tang Lin and Yang Yi were speechless because this matter was indeed the fault of the National Guard Hall and the Royal Family. Abandoning Longao twice, this matter alone was not justifiable no matter where they went. However, since things had already reached this stage, Tang Lin and Yang Yi naturally would not admit that they were wrong. Longao, if the king wants the subject to die, the subject has no choice but to die. As a citizen of the Star Cloud Kingdom, you should always be prepared to sacrifice yourself for the kingdom. Moreover, you killed Luocheng. Don't tell me you did the right thing. Longao ruthlessly despised the other party in his heart. He had seen shameless people before, but he had never seen someone as shameless as them, lying through their teeth. With a cold snort, Longao said, Luocheng and the others wanted to kill me. For the sake of the National Guard Hall, I compromised. However, they didn't know what was good for them. I killed them. They deserved it. They can't blame others. Longao, you can say whatever you want now. We don't know what Luocheng did. Maybe you just wanted to eliminate the dissidents. Longao, no matter what, you are still a citizen of the Star Cloud Kingdom. Wait, I'll tell you one more time. When the Star Cloud Kingdom abandoned me, I no longer belong to the Star Cloud Kingdom. Therefore, I am no longer a citizen of the Star Cloud Kingdom. Tang Lin took a deep look at Longao and did not continue to dwell on this question. Instead, he asked, "All right, I'll ask you now. Do you really want to leave the Star Cloud Kingdom?" I've already said that it's not that I want to leave the Star Cloud Kingdom. It's the Star Cloud Kingdom that abandoned me first. Therefore, the fault does not lie with me. It's your fault. Just now, you injured my friend. As long as you apologize to Brother Hao, I will be magnanimous and let you off.
Ha!
Hearing Long Ao's words, Yang Yi suddenly laughed loudly. Long Ao, I know that you are very powerful now. However, you must remember that you are not alone. You have the Long clan behind you. If you don't behave, not only you, but even your clan will suffer with you. Chapter 131. Family in Trouble? The one thing that Long Ao couldn't touch was family. Die. Long Ao spat out a word coldly. Suddenly, a terrifying power was emitted from his body, suppressing everything. Consolidation Realm. Long Ao was no longer the same as before. When he was in the Consolidation Realm, he was able to kill Yi Dao, let alone with his current strength. As the saying goes, once an expert makes a move, one will know whether or not he's a real expert. Long Ao did not hold back in the slightest as he killed Tang Lin and the rest. He kept all of their souls into the Dragon Seal space and refined their energy. After all, with his current strength, even if they were refined into soul slaves, it would be useless. Long Ao didn't care about the corpses. No matter what, he still had Hao Chao by his side. He didn't want others to know about his Dragon Seal space. Brother Long, you'll be in big trouble after killing Tang Lin and the rest. With an indifferent expression, Long Ao said with a smile, the Nebula royal family relies on the National Guardian Hall. Now that almost all of their experts are dead, I don't believe that the Nebula Kingdom can cause any trouble. Long Ao understood the situation in the Nebula Kingdom. In the Nebula Kingdom, other than their own strength, the most important thing was the National Guardian Hall. Now that 80% of the National Guardian Hall's members were dead, Long Ao could predict it. The Nebula royal family should be thanking the heavens if they didn't fall. However, Hao Chao said with a serious face, Brother Long, we're in big trouble now. What trouble? Brother Long, you don't know. The Nebula Kingdom doesn't only have the National Guardian Hall. In fact, there's an old ancestor in the royal family. It's said that he reached the Consolidation Realm 10 years ago. The royal family's old ancestor? Hearing this, Long Ao was shocked. He knew very well that the old ancestor of the Nebula royal family had reached the Consolidation Realm 10 years ago. What about now? Long Ao wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew that if the old ancestor of the Nebula royal family really broke through to the Transformation Realm, it would be extremely difficult for him to win. Brother Long, you killed Tang Lin, Yang Yi, and the others this time. Once the Nebula royal family finds out, it will be very troublesome. It might even implicate your family. Long Ao nodded. How could he not know what Hao Chao was worried about? Brother Hao, are you here for the injured Qilin? Seeing that Long Ao didn't want to continue this topic, Hao Chao didn't continue. He nodded and said, Yes, Brother Long. The news that Chihuan Volcano has a Qilin has spread throughout the entire Tianzhou. Not only us, but even the Fire Empire, Thunder Empire, and the 6 great sects are all here. Brother Long, are you also here for the Qilin? Long Ao didn't conceal anything about this matter. He spoke the truth. That's right. Brother Hao, this matter has nothing to do with you, so you should hide for now. Nodding his head, Hao Chao didn't overestimate himself. After all, the Nebula royal family's strength and foundation were there for all to see. After saying a few words of concern, Hao Chao turned around and left. Since you're here, why don't you come out and meet me? Ha ha ha, not bad. You can actually sense our auras. Looking at the 3 people who suddenly appeared in front of him, Long Ao's heart was extremely heavy. It was truly a small world. The 3 people were none other than the master of the Blood Sea sect, Guanfeng, and the 2 elders, Du Hushuan and Du Yunxian. The Blood Sea sect, the Flowing Cloud sect, was a subsidiary sect of the Blood Sea sect. Back then, when he destroyed the Flowing Cloud sect, the Blood Sea sect had always been holding a grudge. However, with the Ghost King's appearance, the Blood Sea sect didn't dare to act recklessly. However, Longao knew that as long as he was alive, there might be people who were afraid of the Ghost King sect and wouldn't dare to deal with him. Once he died, would the Ghost King sect still dare to offend people for him? The answer was obvious. Because of this, Longao understood a principle even more. It was better to rely on oneself than to rely on others. Having powerful strength was the way to go. Longao, if you die here, do you think anyone will know? Hearing this, Longao still had an indifferent expression. He coldly laughed and said, Blood Sea sect, Longao, are you afraid? I'm not afraid, I just want to laugh. I want to laugh at your shamelessness. Hearing this, Du Yunxian and Du Hushuan were furious, but they were stopped by Guanfeng. He smiled and said, Longao, I've heard about the matter between you and Aoshue, but I can say with certainty that you won't be able to obtain Aoshue. Also, don't think that just because you have the support of the Ghost King sect, you can do whatever you want. I'll let you off today, but in the future, I'll make you beg for death. Looking at the three people who turned around and left, Longao had a bad premonition. What did Guanfeng mean by that? Longao couldn't think of why he and Aoshue couldn't be together. After all, even the Ghost King Aotion had agreed. In this world, who could stop the two of them from being together? Ignoring Guanfeng's words, Longao turned and left. This time, entering the Scarlet Volcano, Longao wanted to try his luck and see if he could meet the injured Qilin. Just like this, Longao aimlessly walked around the Scarlet Volcano. No matter who he met, he would stay far away. No matter what, the Scarlet Volcano was very close to the Scarlet Fire Town. If he provoked an enemy, he would implicate his family. Because of this, Longao searched for the injured Qilin alone. Unknowingly, 3 days had passed. Outside an extremely hidden cave in the Scarlet Volcano. Just as he arrived outside the cave, Longao felt a terrifying aura coming from inside the cave. He was shocked. Without even looking inside, Longao already knew that the injured Qilin must be inside the cave. Longao was overjoyed in his heart. He cautiously raised his spirits and stepped into the cave. Step by step, after walking for a few minutes, Longao finally saw a glimmer of light. Not only was he not surprised, but he became even more serious. He carefully walked to the entrance of the cave. With one look, he was so scared that he swallowed his saliva. The incomparably huge cave was filled with a fiery aura. It was like an endless flame was burning. There was no need to enter the cave. Just standing at the entrance of the cave was like being burned by an endless flame. In the middle of the cave, there was a huge monster lying there. It had a dragon head, antlers, lion's eyes, a tiger's back, a bear's waist, snake scales, horse's hooves, and an ox's tail. It was like a small mountain, and its whole body was fiery red. Fire Qilin? Could this be the legendary Fire Qilin? Longao wasn't an idiot. Of course, he knew that the monster in the middle of the cave was the Fire Qilin. Just like the rumors, the Fire Qilin was injured. Because of this, Longao knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him. No matter what, he couldn't give up. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.